Sonny. First of all, give me my money. I make my money. What up? What's good, y'all? Happy Saturday. We back with the Sorry It's True podcast. It's your boy ARP. Feels good to get back into a live chat for a second, right? I want to tell y'all about what we're going over today. We got a lot of news to cover, but then I'm going to make sure that I get into the podcast changes, right? Some of the updates on the channel as we continue to evolve, expand, and grow this platform. I appreciate all y'all support, man. It's been amazing. It's been a beautiful journey thus far. We over a year in at this point with the Sorry It's True podcast, but the evolution is serious. All right. So as far as today, this is what we're going to get into. And don't worry, when the stream's over, I'm going to put the timestamps for all the chapters and all the topics in the description below. We got Diddy updates. There's a bunch going on, even between Thursday, Friday, and this morning, leading into what is supposed to be the official day one in opening arguments and statements this Monday. So we less than 48 hours away. The moment a lot of people have been waiting for to see how this all unfolds and this goes, but it's such an active and high profile, big situation that 24 hours could just have so much news for us to discuss and break down. This tires are going to turn back and forth every 5 seconds, people. So buckle up. It's going to be serious. After the Diddy trial, what are we talking about? What do we got? This alleged cease and desist sent from Kanye West to Kim Kardashian. We're going to break all that down, some of that back and forth. What else do I got up here? I want to talk about some Drake versus UMG lawsuit updates. The other day, we did touch on the UMG moving for dismissal, but there's a couple new things that went in as well. So I'll bring up the paperwork. I got y'all on that. What else do we got? Oh, Fat Joe and Jadakiss launched their podcast. That's why I got my locks hat on. All right. We're going to talk about the podcast. I'm going to tell y'all some of the dope things that I see off rip with their first episode. And we're probably going to play one of the chapters in their podcast, one of the topics, and we'll get into that topic further. What else do we got? 50 Cent versus Benzino. I got something to say about that. There's some other small pieces of news that we're going to say towards the end as well. Yeah, we got a bunch today. We got a bunch. And then also after we get through everything at the end, I might tell y'all about some stuff I got going on this weekend. I got some throwback DVDs, street DVDs to bring up. I want to see who's in tune and who knows about these things, who remembers some of this stuff. Also got a movie category I want to ask y'all about. And I got a music category to ask y'all about. So don't let me lead a stream without getting to some of that stuff. All right. Before I get into the topics now, podcast updates. Let's bring everybody in or up to speed. Let everybody have access on the general public channel to updates such as this. Anybody that plays this stream later on. What happened last week? What happened for the last week and maybe a couple days? I've gotten DMs from even close friends of mine. Like shout out to my man L. Dot. He DM'd me, say, "Hey man, I'm trying to get on the stream. Did something change?" I saw some of the tweets. I got some of the DMs. Yes. Once again, I did break this down for the members, but I owe it to some of the other people that are here on the live streams as well. There has been some changes. We are now pushing this podcast in an effort to cater to both sides of the spectrum, right? The news updates, i.e. the clips that so many people ask for and want. So I got to build that back up. I was doing that once upon a time. I stopped it and then I went purely live. But now I got to go back to catering to these people. And I need the whole internet world and anybody that's ever been fans of myself or supporters of the podcast to continue to come back and realize like, oh, as far as those news update clips that I used to like from ARP, they are back. They are there 7 days a week. Well, definitely Monday through Friday as far as the full breakdown clips, right? As far as the live stream now, the live stream episodes Monday through Friday will be for members only. Okay. But the topics that are in the live stream full episodes, those are the clips that you guys are going to be getting anyway. So you do not need to be a member to see the topics that we cover in the full streams. Okay. So then some people may ask me, what's the difference between the full streams and the topic uploads, ARP? There's stuff in the full streams that just never make it to the upload and the general subscribers on the channel. Okay. What's an example of that? When we get towards the end of the stream and we start talking about throwback movies, or maybe some of the personal stuff I got going on in life, or what happened yesterday when my contractor came over here and tried to charge me up the wall, stuff like that. Like, we had a cool story. People even DM'd me about it. The one we're talking about, the main water line cracking to my house, right? And we broke down that whole story of owning versus renting. Stuff like that probably won't make it to the general subscribers and uploads, right? But it'll be in the streams for the public. The transitions, the little funny moments and all that. That's all going to be members only and a part of the full streams. So how do I still hear some of, if not all of the full streams, if I'm not a member on the channel, ARP? I appreciate we still get the topics uploaded separately. But what if I do want all that other stuff, but I don't want to be a member? If you don't want to be a member of the channel, yet you still want the full stream episodes and all those little small details and things that we discuss in between and at the end and whatnot, go to the Spotify link in description. The full episodes will always be on Spotify. Okay? Now that I cleared that up for everybody, the weekends. Why am I live right now then, ARP? This is a full live episode. What's going on? The weekends, I'm going to try this for a little bit. Saturdays and Sundays will probably be a general public live just like this one. You won't have to be a member for it. Monday through Friday, different story. Okay? I just explained that. But Saturdays and Sundays, we may do our regular streams. You don't have to be a member for it. Whether you are, let's see, Frank Dockett here, who is not a member, and you're in the chat, boom, we got you. Or whether you are Kelson, who is a member, and you're in the chat. We here for both on Saturdays and Sundays, okay? So look forward to those on the weekends. And then Monday through Friday, the general schedule that I kind of laid out for you. This channel is going to have a lot of content, okay? A lot of daily content. Keep your subscribers in subscriptions in place. Keep your notifications on. You may see anywhere from 4 to 7 videos hit this channel Monday through Friday per day, and then plus a live stream for y'all Saturdays and Sundays. So it's up. Right? If there's any questions or clarifications that y'all want, or even ideas, you know what I'm saying? I'm still working with my partner network right now, organizing some of this new formula of the platform. Okay. So things will continue to evolve. But if you have any critiques, if you have any questions, if you have any complaints, please DM me. I'm very accessible. I try to stay as accessible as possible. Don't troll me. I ignore all that shit. But, you know, some grown man to man or man to woman type of somebody want to get in touch with me or ask me a question about the podcast, I try to make myself as accessible as possible. Same on Twitter. Okay. If I can't keep up with my DMs, make sure you tweet me and I'll do my best to answer everybody. All right. It's Saturday. You know, on Saturdays and Sundays, I don't rush, right? I see Big Yellow 317 in the building. Don't worry, topics is coming, y'all. We about to get to it. Topics is on the way. Big Yellow 317 in the building. I see my girl Jay in the building, member and a mod. What other members do we got in the building? We saw Kelson already. Shout out to Kay in the building. What other members we got in here? I see James Halliburton. Are you guys related by any chance? That was an incredible shot the other night. That might be his career playoff highlight to this point. Shout out to the Pacers. They're doing their thing. I'm not rooting for them to take the whole. I shouldn't say rooting. I don't think they're gonna take the whole thing. I think this is another progressive year for them, another step forward. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all related, that's dope. Your cousin, your brother, whoever, he's doing his thing. If so. Shout out to Sassy in the building. Oh, my girl DMV Dollars in the building. I see our moderator Avis is here. Okay, I see our member Trey is in the building. Positive Vibes is on deck. What's good, homie? That's the homie all the way back through RBE days. RBE day one, homie. Yes, y'all like, subscribe, notifications. This channel is there's a lot of content going up for y'all every day now. It's up. So I appreciate that, Avis. That reminder for everybody. Kay's in the building. Poppy Cashmore's in the building. I might even hang around towards the end too and let y'all ask me any battle rap questions. Maybe we'll add that segment to today too. We'll see. I see Caps Lock 201 is in the building. And shout out to the entire chat that's on their way in. Okay, y'all ready to get working? We 10 minutes in. Normally, if this was a more news day, let's get to it. I would have started by like 2 minutes intro tops max. But we almost 10 minutes in, and I'm just hanging out, making sure y'all understand all the updates, what's going on, some of the changes, some of the growth. But all right, let's get to work, y'all. Let's start off with your boy Diddy. Did he do it? Did he not? I don't know. We're gonna figure this out, man. How long is this trial gonna take? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Go ahead, chat. How long y'all think this trial is gonna take? If I had to guess, and we can't use the YSL trial as a gauge, right? Because that's some historic Fulton County, Georgia shit. Okay, we can't use that as a marker, and you can't use the ASAP Rocky shit neither. Damn, Kelson says a year. Miss Carmen in the chat says 6 months. Sheesh, 6 months. I don't want to keep up with 6 months of content of this damn trial, man. And yep, yeah, I will. I promise you, I will. We're still covering all the Drake and Kendrick stuff. It's like once we started it, you cover it forever. Certain topics you cover forever. 6 months we got here. Sassy got about a year. Damn, y'all are kind of swaying I was gonna say 3 months. I'm with y'all. Yeah, Cassie is. We about to get to that in a second. Oh, you see the joint up here. Yes, we're gonna get to all of that. I was gonna say 3 months. All right, I'm with y'all. I'm gonna push to. I'm gonna take a number that nobody says. Right? If this was some Prices Right shit or whatever, I'm gonna take 7 months. All right. The judge said July 14th to end. Yeah. We at May 10th. It starts the 12th, ending on July 14th. The judge said that. Okay, if that's what the judge said, the judge can't stand on a date as things change and move around. But if that's his target, that's incredible. I expected it to go much longer than that. Tiny also agrees with you. She's saying 2 months. Fed's case, month and a half tops. All right. Well, let's talk about the recent developments over like the last 48 hours. So as far as us getting the opening statement and opening arguments this Monday, that's still possible. Okay, it's very, very possible that that's how Monday by like late morning or early afternoon it goes. What are they dealing with still right now? As of Friday, the last report that I saw was jury decisions and jury selection is not complete. All right. The last update that I saw, which was yesterday, I think they got the pool down to like 40 something people. Remember, what they got to end up with is 12 jurors. And then I believe there's like 6 stand-ins, right? So if something happens to juror number 11, you got a stand-in of the 6 that's on the side waiting to come in. That's your bench players. That's your substitution, right? So they don't have that complete. There was all types of developments throughout all week last week, as well as up to Friday. Somebody that was still in the pool, for example, that it wasn't disclosed to them that he had an ongoing lawsuit against the city. They want to know stuff like that. All right. So there's things that they're finding out wasn't disclosed. I see Misha in the building. Good morning, love. There's things that needs to be disclosed. Things that they feel like can impede somebody's bias to be a proper and a neutral juror. We already broke down how important jury selection within itself is for both the prosecution and the defense. So that was the last update that I saw in that regard. Why it's like, no, we got to finish this Monday. Well, we're supposed to start Monday. Okay, we'll do both. We'll finish up the jury selection Monday morning, and then we'll get to opening statements after. Some people might think like this last remaining pool of like 40 people, you think you're going to get through that Monday morning? Good luck. We'll see. That's the reports that came out. So that's a big deal. Victim 3, last I heard, was still not located. We'll see what happens with victim 3. But if you kind of want to balance, I mean, we can't go like for like, apples to apples, as far as the charges or the accusations per victim. Everybody's accusations and situations are different. Hell, even I'll Be Sure wants to come in. We'll get to his video in a second. But victim 3, last I seen, is on the lam. They can't get in touch with this person. But now there's this victim 5. So victim 5 is a new person that might be coming in. I don't know the legalities around that. I thought this type of stuff needed to be disclosed in like the last superseding indictment that we saw with the new victim, all of that. That's what I thought. But I guess there's certain process and procedures that allow these new victims to come in or whatever. But as I understand this victim 5 is a new person. We'll see what's on the table. It's still said victim 1 allegedly is Cassie. They're still doing that dance. I don't know why. But from the last couple of days in court, it's pretty solid to everybody at this point. Paperwork says victim 1, it's Cassie. Okay. I also saw a report that Cassie's lawyer was in the building last week. Okay, all the way up through Friday. So they're paying attention to things because Cassie is about to take the stand. It's another thing that I saw. We'll just see how that plays out. Cassie might be the first person up, i.e., right away. Like, imagine seeing Cassie take the stand next week. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Now, when we talk about Cassie, yes, you guys see up here on the screen. Let me go to the small screen now. Newsflash, people, Cassie is pregnant. This is how she's gonna be looking in court. You see this? What is this? Minimum 6, possibly 8, 9. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're in your 9th or in your final stages, then I don't know about signing on for court. Diddy's defense is probably begging that she gets real close to it. And if now I think about it, maybe that is a reason why they would get her ass on the fucking on a stand next week right away. Let her get back to her pregnancy. We don't want the main star witness, right, hanging around 2 months in. She hasn't taken the damn stand. We didn't get as a prosecution, we didn't get everything that we needed out of her. And then it becomes a doctor's recommendation to not be going back and forth to this stressful court as you get closer and closer and closer to your delivery date. That's another bet that y'all can start putting in the chat. Will Cassie take the stand next week? I didn't think about that, but all right. So, the talk around her showing up, here's a debate, and I don't need to play the video for y'all. They're pretty much going to say the same thing that we're going to say right now. The perception of a pregnant Cassie, an alleged past victim of Diddy, sitting on that stand could be game-changing. It's already bad enough that the footage is being allowed into court. Now, just imagine now trying to berate this woman with questions as the defense, trying to do a cross-examine, right? But you're doing it to a she's going to walk in there feebly. Somebody's going to hold her hand as she gets up there and braces herself to sit down on the stand. And it's going to look like a gentle, victimized, gentle woman. You don't think that the presentation, I'm not saying that she got pregnant for this trial, people. Don't let me go over your heads. But the presentation that is used in court, it's every day. It's no different than the murderer that shows up and for the first time ever, his lawyer puts a pair of glasses on him to look collegiate. That's how it goes, right? So you don't think the prosecution isn't highly going to try to exploit this as much as possible because people are already starting the discussion. We don't want to see, there's women, already covering this saying, we don't want to see the defense get up there and scream and berate and get so argumentative with this pregnant woman. It becomes a factor. It becomes a fucking factor. What's another factor for her being up there pregnant? The fact that she's moved on. She looks more wholesome, looks motherly, looks like a family person now. Okay? Because we already know one of the things the defense was always going to target. This was a mutually abusive relationship. We're going to get to that in a second too. And possibly this woman was money hungry. We saw people like Kanye West publicly come out and say that she asked allegedly for $30 million. Diddy denied, and then here came the lawsuit. The defense would make sense for them to go after all of these angles to paint her as disgusting of a person as possible. But the image of her up there in front of the jurors, what they're going to see is this pregnant woman that moved on. You know what the pregnancy also symbolizes? A successful relationship. Now, we know that there's a lot of, baby mamas out there and baby daddies out there with broken homes and failed relationships. But we're just talking about imagery, people. The jurors have to get up there and look at this and see this. Your eyes are gateways to what you interpret, not just your fucking ears. And the prosecution is going to paint her as the person that would have been looking just like this if Diddy was a good man. Oh, I'm good. I mean, If I would do it, you don't think that these billion-dollar lawyer teams will do it and prosecutions will do it? What are we talking about? So this is believe it or not, that's a big situation. Yo, here's something I want y'all to peep real quick too. Side note, look at TMZ's website. The general background of their website is the Diddy trial. Is it United States versus Sean Combs inside the Diddy trial? This is what their website is now bolstering as top priority. It's TMZ. What do you expect? And look at this side of it. Him allegedly, should I say allegedly? I mean, we've seen it and he apologized for it, right? Diddy kicking Cassie in the hallway. So if you come to TMZ's website to look at a Nas album release update, this is what you're going to see in the background. Diddy's lawyers need to send them a cease and desist. But TMZ is a big deal. You play with TMZ, you fight with TMZ, you're gonna be in for a fight. Here's another sidebar, has nothing to do with the Diddy trial. You ever notice on the top of TMZ, when you see the categories, you see news, you see sports, you see hip hop, you see watch, you see photos, you see tours, you see deals. Cool. When we talk about music, there's only one genre, hip hop. You don't see a rock and roll category. You don't see a country category. You don't even see a reggae or an R&B category. Just a hip hop category. So when I tell y'all hip hop is the biggest music commodity in the world, TMZ and such likes believe this as well. No, it's not because we're the only ones that create news. If you dig into the weeds of some of these other genres and metal and punk rock and all that, I'm pretty sure you find a lot of bullshit there too. Right? But anyway, so back to this. We could read some of this. Diddy's lawyer better not bully the prosecution's very pregnant star witness when she takes the stand next week. So admonishes Nancy Grace. Cassie Ventura's upcoming testimony became an explosive topic on our new Tubi weekly series. Well, yeah, they have a series for it. So this is all promotion, money, engagement for TMZ. You know, you could damn near feel the vibe that they're leaning towards this man being guilty, but it is what it is. All right. Nancy appeared with Harvey, Mark Garagos, Ashley Banfield, and Ebony K. Williams as they discussed the optics of grilling Cassie about the freak-offs for which Diddy is being tried. And yeah, there's a picture of Cassie. It's a hard sell to a jury that a married, visibly pregnant mother of 2, soon to be 3, is a swinger who uses baby oil for things other than infants. I don't believe that. I mean, Brittany Renner got kids, doesn't she? Like, point proven right there. Boom. Like, come on. But I see it's the optics, people. Garrego's dared to suggest the defense will make the case the accusers are ex-girlfriends who shared mutual feelings with Diddy and that set Nancy off. So let's stay there for a second. Now let's go to that point. The point of mutually abusive. That's another thing that was pretty much stamped this past week. The defense has to go in that direction. Think about it. The video is allowed into court, people. And even if it wasn't allowed in, good luck convincing me that everybody on the jury hasn't already seen the damn video, right? And even if they didn't see the video, you know, they would hear about it during this case, and they would leave jury one day, they would rap for the day, they would go home and they pull this shit up. It's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's probably still on CNN site for all we know, right? You got imagery like this out there. You got Cassie that's about to testify and say, he also did this. He also did that. He beat me up here. He did this. He did that. Look at the video. What's happening in this video, Cassie? Explain this. Explain why you ran down the hallway. Oh, he just woke up. He started wilding out and I had to escape. And she's going through this, creating these visual pictures of all this. Now, when it's time for Diddy to counter this, because they can't skip over the Cassie video, they got to counter it. One of their biggest counters is going to be not to lie to what we've all seen with our own eyes already, but is to accept it and say, yeah, but she did this too. Now, are they lying? Who the fuck knows? Has Cassie ever punched them in the face? Who the hell knows? But to paint a picture of this was just a Blueface and Krishan Rock toxic ass situation where we hitting on each other, we beating on each other. And you might see Ike and Tina walk up to the receptionist in the hotel and they both got black eyes and bleeding noses. That's the picture that Diddy's going to have to turn around and say now. I get it. I get it. What other direction do you go with this? There's not much else to go, especially once they play this damn video. If they play this video week 1 or week 2, man, you can see they're going for blood. Well, that's what's going to happen anyway. But what's some of the other big updates other than the mutual violence? The prosecution, I believe, said that there's multiple versions and angles of this CNN footage, and they will be playing it. Now, that was a big contention, right? CNN and Diddy's side tried to get it thrown out because they were saying that the footage was altered. Was it slowed down? Was it sped up? Was a piece taken from the end and put in the beginning, and a piece from the beginning put in the end, and you put it out of sequence? And did you remove the piece when she pushed me? But now we're talking about the prosecution is going to play multiple versions and possibly pieces of the video that the world didn't see yet. They're going to play that to the jurors. I mean, think about it like this too. If the jurors want to play it, then that means it can't be good, right? But there may be more than what the world has already seen that's about to come into this damn courtroom. That's why we're not going to see it. I don't think we're going to be, unless somebody leaks it or somebody sells it to TMZ after the trial's over. But that's tough. That's tough. I wonder if Diddy's team had an opportunity to see that footage. Why wouldn't they? As submitted evidence, right? Don't you get that in discovery? Right. So I assume maybe they've seen that. We'll see how they try to defend that. That's probably one of the last biggest pieces process wise. Let's get to the I'll Be Sure thing. I'll Be Sure has some stuff to say recently, and if they bring him into court based on this talk show that he just did, he's gonna go all out. He believes that he's been through hell and back because of Diddy, and if he takes that stand, that's just another mountain that Diddy and his defense is gonna have to climb.
Tell the truth.
Oh, spooky.
I knew that I
Spooky, spooky, spooky. I wonder if they're gonna call him up. I wonder if. He said he was subpoenaed, but I wonder if they're gonna call him up. Imagine, I'll Be Sure it doesn't come across like definitely not in this interview, right? But in general, the clips and the things I've seen of him over the years, I never got a clout chasing vibe. I never got a he's just out here making up shit like he's in some Jaguar right type bag. I never got that from him. Does that mean everything he wants to say about Diddy is true? No. I'm gonna remain fair, but I don't know how you prove that his liver failure and organ failure, etc., is related to Diddy. I mean, unless you paint a picture that it's a stressful environment and whatnot. I mean, if you're talking about, your spleen ruptures after getting stomped out, that's one thing, right? But we're not talking about a violent situation. But things like related to his career and blackballing or any harassment or threats, and they have a woman in common too, a very important woman to Diddy, right? So it comes off like this man has just been through so much, and if he gets the opportunity to get his lick back, he'd love to. Now, will he turn around and do something like write a book after? That's the type of question that they asked him for a second. He was like, this ain't about publicity, and you see people come out the woodwork every day when somebody that they're associated to or has a history or a past to makes headlines. That definitely is a reality. But this man, imagine him taking a stand, speaking what he pertains to be his truth, and then walking off into the sunset. Oh, that's just related to, nah, this is my get back. This is my get back. And there's too many people in the world. There's a bunch of people in this chat that just do not believe that Diddy is an angel. Actually, we believe there's a lot of demon shit that he's done. The freak off stuff and his personal sexual life is his business. But that Cassie video, in my humble opinion, is something that he's done multiple times to multiple people. You hear about his temper, you hear about his violence, we hear about people getting their cars blowing up allegedly, right? Kid Cudi allegedly. You hear all these things around his name for years. And none of it is true. So we'll see what happens with I'll be sure. But all right. Let's move on to the next topic. We'll see what happens Monday for Diddy. I don't expect us to be back here tomorrow morning and get no other Diddy updates because the court is closed, right? If something pops up, then I'll take that back. It's a Diddy trial. Somebody might come out and say some wild shit. Victim 1 comes out and does an Instagram live. Hey, I'm here. Oh, I'm not Instagram. No, I mean Victim 3. Like, you never know with this case. But all right. We covered this the other day, this week as well. And very, very conflicting story. Rodney Hinton Jr. I don't want to get into the full backdrop of the story. I think we did a nice breakdown of this video the other day. So check that out if you missed it. It was uploaded as a clip. And the clip is probably about 20 minutes. And I talk about my feelings towards where he might be justified and also on the other side of the gate where he might not be justified. I think I gave a very fair take on the situation. But overall, it's one of those things that divides people, divides cultures, divides pieces of America, the country that we live in. Most of us, well, most of this demographic right on this channel. And more footage has come out about Rodney Hinton. So, you know, I feel like this is a follow-up to the video clip that we uploaded the other day. And just to see him going through the process, moving around with the police as he's in custody, you know, I'll see if there's some reaction we have here for this, but I want to play this for y'all.
Hinton seems a little bit out of it as officers and deputies work to transfer him to the deputies from the neighboring agency.
I'm gonna put this hand in a cuff. All right, I'm gonna put this other hand in a cuff.
Now, immediately what he looks like is, it looks like he's uncomfortable, right? It's not just the handcuffs. He looks generally in pain and beat down. I'm not saying that the cops beat the shit out of him. We don't see that. He's got the Band-Aid on. So when we saw the initial video of him in court, when he walked through and he put his chest up and his chin out to the cops as he was walking through, he didn't have no Band-Aid on. So I guess this was early on before he made it to that court appearance. That could have been from the car crash, right? Should I call it a crash? I don't know. I want to be sensitive. I want to be respectful to all parties involved, all families involved, because there's lives lost on both sides of the gate here. And once again, I get deeper into that in that other video, so check that out, y'all. But that could be from the car crash. He's got another joint right there on his arm. That'd be looking like an IV or something like that. Was he in the hospital after the car crash, car accident, car whatever? Damn, I keep trying to be sensitive towards this because I know this is one of them fucking stories, man. But all right, let's keep going.
I'm gonna double lock him, okay? Hey, you rotate this right around. All right.
I got to watch your ankles as well, sir. You're fine.
You notice this whole time he's not saying a single word, huh? He don't got nothing to say. He don't got no rap. Not a single word said. Not a hey, it's too tight. Not a can you loosen that a little bit? Hey, where am I going next? Nothing. You don't got nothing to say to these people, huh?
Job anything? This is not working, so let's think about that.
Yeah, he definitely is sounding like he's in some type of pain or something. The way he's making that, he's like grunting and whatnot.
Oh, sorry, you're good. No, it's okay.
Put a black officer in there too to make it to try to even it out a little bit. No, he ain't got no rap. He ain't got nothing to say to nobody. Nobody got nothing to say. But at the same time, too, everybody knows that them cops know that there's recordings happening, right? Everybody shut their mouth. We're recording right now. Got to make it look like a clean, general, regular process, huh?
Yeah.
The deputies then load Hinton into the van for the trip to the jail in that neighboring county. It's Claremont County.
All right, the easiest way is just turn around and slide in.
To face me and then sit down and then slide.
What is that that's being blurted out?
Now swing your leg around. Need help?
Less
Maybe
than
a
an hour
detective?
later, Rodney Hinton arrives at the
Maybe
jail.
identified?
You want to hold yourself up there?
I'm going to ask you some questions, all right? You have a serious medical or mental health issue that needs immediate attention?
No words.
Is that a yes or a no? Have you recently considered attempted suicide?
No words.
No. You want to hurt yourself or anybody else? No. Currently
No
taking
word.
addictive substance on opioid therapy? Had any radiation or chemotherapy the past 6 months? You have a pacemaker? You have anything
No,
on
they
you
don't
that'll cut us
give a
or
fuck.
stick us? You have anything on you at all? Okay. We're going to pat you down real quick. Have you ever been here before? No. What all you got going on? I see you got the hospital gown. You're in Claremont County, but in Batavia.
Oh, they said it, the hospital gown. So yeah, that was probably a Band-Aid on his arm from an IV. He was in the hospital.
And your right foot. Okay. We're gonna ask her what you're over to the county. You having trouble walking?
Yo, he is still, I'm not talking about physically. He's still fucked up. Emotionally, he's fucked up. He is fucked up. He don't got no rap for these niggas. He don't got no talk, man. This can't be a one charge. This can't be in the first. There's no premeditation here. He's fucked up. His mind is still. It's his son. What do you expect? What do you expect?
Good. We're gonna start taking these restraints off of you. What we'll do, I'll have you put your hands up on the counter, okay?
I need you to lift your left foot up a little bit so I can get this shackle off you. All right. Feeling good, right?
Even shit that hurts. He ain't doing no complaining. Look, he like, hit nothing. He's like, I ain't giving y'all shit. Wow, man.
Try one on this side.
Wow.
Let's place that hand up there.
How you think the other prisoners are gonna treat him?
Here, please, just hands up for a second. Hands up, please.
They ain't gonna treat him like he came in there with a R case or a kid case.
The next morning,
They gonna
Saturday,
get
May
him
3rd,
treatment like he a
deputies took
king.
Rodney Hinton to court to answer to the aggravated murder charge.
Other inmates are gonna treat him like they're gonna respond. They're gonna give him a lot of space. Yeah.
All right. Go back this way, sir.
This is a great point. This is why I wanted to watch this video, because there's a lot of vibes and energy that comes out of seeing We saw the news reports. We saw the viral clip of him walking and sticking his chin and his chest out at the cops as he walked through and all that. We've seen all of that. But a video like this of him being processed, moving from holdings to holdings and seeing his reaction, seeing that he doesn't talk, seeing his vibe, it shows a little bit more of his state and why he did what he did in case there's any doubt, right? So shout out to Sassy, one of our members here. Look at what she just put up in the chat. He know it didn't satisfy the loss. So for him to still be, let's reverse it. If he was satisfied, I think the energy and the vibe of him would be different. I agree with you, Sassy. I agree with you. I think he'd be walking in here and they'd be like, hey, man, you got anything on you? Nope, I'm good. I don't got nothing else on me. I'm straight. I think he'd be talking like, or maybe not, because it's still your son. But I just feel like his energy, I agree with you, Sassy. I don't think he's completed from, you can't be completed even if you feel like it was an eye for an eye. But it's not the person allegedly that did the shooting that he hit. So even while he's sitting in jail, he's not going to be fulfilled. He's not. He might remain on edge for the rest of his life. Real talk. Get that man his own cell. The red tunnel that we explain here on this channel, he might live in it for the rest of his years. His son. His fucking son, yo.
Third round to the back of the dance hall, please.
So, who is this? Shout out to Double O'Kane. Everybody's incarceration or getting locked up or getting detained experiences are different. You got to remember, some people see jail, some people do a weekend, some people see holdings, some people get put in detective boxes and get interrogated. Some people go to court, get convicted, and go to actual prison under a sentence. Everybody's situation. Some people reside and stay in dormitories. Some people do their time in open spaces. Some people do it on their own. Some people spend a lot of time in confinement. Some people got a bunkie. Two people, like, there's a lot of different jail, incarcerated, prison experiences, my man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna get to talking reckless up here about myself or nothing like that. I respect your comment, right? But be clear. You could be right in certain aspects or in certain places, but there's also a lot of scenarios where he's going to. Anybody ever see that wild? My mind is going to a bugged out reference right now. What the hell was his name? Remember that documentary of the white guy that stabbed the black guy like a million times? One of his partners that was in there with him for like some type of fraud. He was in there for something smaller. But he ended up catching all other wild charges. It's a documentary. It was some racist guy, whatever, and he had a beef with this black guy. He kind of got lined up, and then they got to him, and where they caught him, it was just them three, and he's laying on top of him. He stabs him like a million times, right? Now his reputation after that stabbing in the jail went through the roof. The officers and the sergeants in the precinct was saying, or not the precinct, in the prison was saying that other inmates would like send him messages. Hey, tell such and such I said hello. Does he know my name? Or like he was super clouded after that. Well, especially with that racist or white demographic, right? No, your charges will absolutely determine the type of clout you had or have. People sometimes that talk too much, even in holding cells. What you here for? I'm here for child support. What you here for? I'm here for a speeding ticket. What you here for? I'm here for a shooting. Oh, so Double, you're right in some situations as far as like, yeah, anybody could be got. Anybody could get treated like, yo, you got to earn your keep. But your charges, your reputation, etc., or even things that you do in jail will precede you and will clout you up. So think about it. If a large majority of the jail hates police officers and a cop killer comes in there, you come in there with some reputation, my guy. Okay? That's the point that I'm making. I respect your statement. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying there's a whole bigger picture to that of when I'm saying like when he gets in there, I'm trying to broaden the conversation on that a little bit. So pardon if when I said that little small comment, but that's the broader topic for y'all. All right, let's get back.
You have to watch step getting up there and keep your head down so that you know I'm on the top. Man, okay? And I'll see about you in once we get you in. Just take your time. I got your back for balance. I got your back. Watch your head down. You have to have a seat there for me. You good? Watch up. Do me a favor, just turn your head to the right. Turn your head down, sorry, to your left. Lift your hand. All right, you good?
The deputies make the 40-minute or so drive to the courthouse for the arraignment.
You guys know I'm live.
Yeah, there's different there's different platforms, I believe, that anybody that supports him would have to use. But I think there are some rules around GoFundMe. And even if there wasn't around GoFundMe, even as a company, you got to be careful. Like, do you want to be the medium and the company that has half the country looking at you saying, you're the reason why this guy can afford a $500,000 defense? And then imagine if he gets off. Half the country could look at you like that and say, hey, thanks a lot, GoFundMe. You know what I mean? So even as a company, you think you're just a person in the middle. Somebody created an account, started up a GoFundMe, set the goal at $1 million, right? And attached a checking account to it and whatever. But no, shit like this could come in and really hurt your company and your brand. So there's other mediums. There's nothing stopping anybody that really wants to be involved, because this is becoming so cultural, political, this situation right here. There's a lot of people that are like community advocates, spokespeople that are coming out, and they've already began to visit his family, visit, I believe, his home. Some of these people might just come flat out with envelopes. You know what I'm saying? So this situation is that type of profile. It really is. And now that I think about it, when we spoke about it for the first time, I really want to give my take on the rights and the wrongs, just from me being a human, right? Now in this video, I think we're getting a little bit more into the weeds of like, all right, look at all the surrounding factors as well. And then later on, when we follow this trial, because we will absolutely are bringing this into our news cycle. As we follow the trial, the cultural, the political, those aspects will be in our videos. And some of us will be pissed off behind them. It's just we live in America, people. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully y'all just trust me to remain fair, remain impartial, and remain real. And I might say some things that y'all are gonna stand up and trump your horns for and say, get that nigga ARP. There's gonna be other times y'all be like, I don't know about the ARP. No different than any other topic. But this is something that I take very serious. I admit, I do.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Okay, ready? Step down slow. Hold with this deputy right here, okay?
Step forward a little bit. You gotta shut the door.
So his face right there, he wanted to talk without speaking. And see, he gave him the look like, what do you need me to do? Right? His eye like, what do you he don't want to talk to none of these niggas, son. Real talk.
Inside the courtroom, a wall of deputies, colleagues of Larry Henderson's, lined the courtroom. As Hinton was led out of court, he muttered something to the deputies that sounds like going to be gone forever.
We gotta pause it there, y'all. I did hear that clearly on the audio. Let me replay it. Let's replay it. Going to be gone forever. Let's bring it back 1 second, y'all. Let's play it one more again.
Deputies that sounds like going to be gone forever.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like going to be gone forever. And then he says forever. Woo! He could be talking about one of two things, which is the clearest thought, right? The first one, subscribe. Oh, okay, my bad. I don't know why, Jay. I saw that comment in there. I was just like, is that the to come up with me, but I'm thinking about the members only streams. I was like, how'd you get that for today? Shout out to Jay, one of our mods. But one of two things is what we're all gonna think. Gone forever. Is he talking about his son? You got me here walking through this, going through all of this, and my son is gonna be gone forever. The other one could be one of the biggest shots you could say to a police officer's face. Your brother in blue is gonna be gone forever. Yeah, I did that. Either one is highly emotional. He's in that red tunnel. He is. Nothing matters around him right now other than his son and these police officers that he has a vendetta with, behind losing his son. And this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see. Let's bring it back and show the wall. This is why they say in every city, in every state, the biggest gang is the police department, right? Legally, they're backed. They have the power. The tax dollars and the laws back them to behave in a way that none of us are able to behave, right or wrong. And when one of them goes through something, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a loss, whether it's somebody, they're going to show up in force. And to see this man go through this with the police officers showing up in force, they're going to be at all his court dates. They're going to be there not just to support their fallen brother, but also to try to lean on the jury and to lean on the judge. Just that presence. It's the energy. It's the vibe. There's 1,000 of us here outside waiting for the verdict, in the hallways, in the courtroom. We've been showing up this whole time. It's damn near intimidation. And I'm not talking about Rodney yet. We'll get to him. Just even from a court standpoint, that could be felt as intimidation. Who dare get up on his stand and vouch for him? Who dare on this jury get up there and say not guilty? Intimidation. But now let's think about Rodney here. To show up in the midst of that energy, because we're just looking at this on screen. You know what it is to actually be there? You feel that energy in the room. All those eyes, your third eye, your eyes twitching. All these people here that possibly want you dead or hurt bad. And what does he do? He sticks his chest up. He sticks his chin out and says things like going to be gone forever, or like nudges to them like in the initial video that we saw that went viral. What? And then you want to tell me he ain't going to be clouded when he gets to jail. They're going to leave him to fuck the other prisoner and be like, yo, what's up with you? He got to show weakness for them to play with him. A lot of them is gonna like him. Like, yo, this nigga's super sturdy. They got cell phones and TV in there and shit. They hearing him. They see it, this nigga. They like, yo, this nigga's crazy. He walked past 1,000 police and said like this. Yeah, what's the problem? Gone forever. Like, what? Yo.
In the courtroom, as Hinton was led out of court, he muttered something to the deputies that sounds like going to be gone forever. It is clear Hinton was saying gone forever, but what exactly he was saying isn't clear. The FOP president for Cincinnati Police was told that Hinton said the deputy was going to be gone forever as he was looking at those deputies. He was then driven back to the Claremont County Jail.
Your chest? You need? All right. Take a moment, stretch out. Take a moment, stretch out.
You don't got no rap for y'all.
Ready? Take your time. Ready? You all right? One more.
Take your time. Wash your head. You all right? You okay? Is this one of those police officers that means what he's saying, or is he acting for the cameras? Chat, let me know. Is that police officer? Watch your head, man. You all right? Take your time. You okay? Careful. Slow down. Is he one of those police officers that, all right, how about this? One in the chat, if he's full of shit, cameras is running, so let me act this way. One in the chat for that. Two in the chat, if he's just doing his job. Okay? 3 in the chat, if he respects the fact that this man lost his son. Let me know. Y'all started voting too soon. Hold on. 1 in the chat if he's full of shit because the cameras is running. 2 in the chat if he's just doing his job. Like, hey, watch your head. Come on. Like, this is how I act with every inmate. Or 3 in the job if he sympathizes with this man losing his son and he respects this man or understands this man, I should say. 1, 2, or 3 in the chat. DMV Dial got a 1 that he's full of shit. Tay Smith from the chat says 2. He's doing his job. Another chat says 1. He's full of shit. Tiny's going with the number 1. He's acting. Jack is going with a number 2. I remember Jack is saying he's just doing his job. Kelson is saying he's full of shit. This is the first one from the chat. Mr. Skywalker Live says 3. He understands that this man lost his son. A 1, a 1, a 2, a 2, a 1. Mike here is the second person putting a 3 in here. He understands. Got another 3. I must have asked y'all a good question because y'all are split as fuck. I'll leave this be the last one. Sassy says they have sons too. That's one thing that you can never avoid. Big screen for a second. Simply hitting close to home. I'll be 1,000 with y'all. I was very, very young, way less mature than I am right now, way less experienced than I am right now. When the R. Kelly allegations hit and that footage started running around the whole world of him and that little girl, I was a kid, you know, and if you would have asked me then about putting his music on, I would have thought twice, right? I didn't fuck with the situation at all. And I was like, yo, I think he's guilty. Talking about that's his brother. Nigga, that's you. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about like something hitting close to home, that's when people feel an emotional tie to something. Either somebody that it hits closer to home, or if they're just a little bit more mature and they think about, or they're able to interpret people's feelings or position, even if it doesn't hit close to home, that comes with maturity, right? Those are people that now, if you're like, yo, we here in a crib and I got a little house party going, put that R. Kelly album on. It's like, I'm not really feeling that vibe. Will I still vibe out to an R. Kelly song today? Yes, I got to be honest. If a dope R. Kelly song comes on, I'm still going to move to it. Just the music side of it, yes. But the maturity side of me and hitting closer to home now at this point in my life, there's certain things I can't condone anymore as far as anything related to his name, you know? So let's take a point like that. I just want, that's moment of clarity, moment of honesty, moment for me, right? You look at these police officers, like you said, some of them is fathers. And cop or not, ask the average cop whether he's walking around with not average cop, average father, whether he's walking around with a badge or not. If somebody that you feel allegedly, because I think that they're going to sprawl this out in trial, we're going to get more understanding, right? But let's say, at least for now, some of the impression from the footage clip that we saw looks like the kid was retreating. If he was retreating, then I broke this down in that other video. Y'all check it out. Like we spoke about Texas laws and all types of stuff and shooting somebody that's retreating. Go check that other video out, y'all, after this live. But that clip doesn't look like the officer's life was in danger, or it looked like he could have practiced reservation opposed to shooting the kid. That clip, that's the way I interpreted what I've seen and the evidence that I have so far. So you take any father, whether he's wearing a badge or not, and you put him in that situation. A father or a mother's tie to their child is the red tunnel. By my definition, it is a deadly situation for that father to be amongst that father, right? So ask any of those people, what would you do if somebody did that to your child? People, their minds, their feelings, their heart, their emotions don't go to, yeah, yesterday that just happened to my child, so I hope this person that did it gets found guilty. That's not where their mind goes. That's not where their heart goes. That's not where their energy and their emotions go. Their emotions are going to go to, I want to do something. I want to do something to somebody right fucking now. Right? That becomes one of the most dangerous people that you will ever encounter. That is somebody in that emotional state. That's the red tunnel. That's the red tunnel I keep referencing. So these fathers that are cops, you don't think some of them is just like, shit, I don't agree with what you did, but I understand why you did what you did. Right? It's a human thing. It's a paternal thing. It's an emotional thing. Yo, covering this trial is gonna be some shit. It's gonna get to me. It's gonna make my skin crawl. I could feel it right now. It's gonna make my skin crawl at times. All right, let's leave the rest of this alone. I was getting a little. How we doing, everybody? We good? Is it fun to have a live after the changes, right? Anybody that's coming after that, please refer to the beginning of the video. There has been some changes to the platform, but everybody's going to get a ton of content on this channel. All right. Woo. That was something. Hold on. Let me not just transition. Like that was something. Y'all good? So would you still call police? I see in the chat. His problem is not just a cop, a good cop. I see in the chat. You be overdoing it, and I'm not against the police. Or y'all really going at the chat? Huh? Y'all going at it in the chat? All right, let me change topics for us, man, because that could be in a very emotional and sometimes even upsetting situation. Let's change topics. All right, let's go to something so unimportant. Then why are you talking about it? ARP is a podcast. And I'm gonna have my opinions even for stupid shit. So this alleged cease and desist from Kanye went to Kim K. What was it? Yesterday, day before. We'll read it and then we're gonna get to the updates after. They redacted a bunch of legal information, people's addresses, names, probably phone numbers. Probably this was probably like address, phone number, whatever, name, signature, whatever. But cease and desist unauthorized use of minor children in custody violations on behalf of Kim Kardashian. Let's just go down to the actual point outs. 1, on unauthorized exposure of Northwest. For some reason, I don't feel like reading all the details to that. We know what that means. Number 2, denial of custodial access. We know what that means as well. 3, exploitation without consent. Is that like similar to what they just was going back and forth with over Playboy Cardi's song and getting Northwest song to be LLC to feature it or whatever? Yeah, that's what that would apply to. Now we come down here. Demands, your client is directed to comply with the following demands by May 23rd. Oh, so they wasn't given the typical cease and desist 10-day window, huh? They were given much more than that. Oh no, so almost 2 weeks. Okay, all right. Cease publishing or authorizing the publication of any images, videos, content featuring Northwest, saying, basically all his kids, refrain from involving Northwest or in this case children, regular and unimpeded access to Mr. West, to his children, remove all existing social media content featuring Mr. West's children, notice of potential legal action, a petition to modify the custody arrangement to seek sole legal and or physical custody, litigation for breach of custody agreement, a request for injunctive relief to prohibit further unauthorized use of children's likeness, and then it closes out. But there are reports coming out that this was fake. The wild thing is when we skim through those clauses and some of those accusations, it looks like a real cease and desist as far as what you could see Kanye having an issue with. It's some of that, if not almost all of it, is what he's virtually complaining about. Now, of course, you can take all the stuff that he publicly tweets and complains about, and somebody could just put pen to pad and write that up. Maybe ChatGPT will even write that. His tweets are so popular at this point, right? but I mean, it looks real as shit as far as the content. But this is what came out after that. So we'll go with this. Cease and desist to Kim K is a hoax. Kanye West threatening letter to Kim K accusing her of exploiting their kids is just a stunt designed to piss off Kim. One with zero legal bite, TMZ has learned. Here's the deal. On Friday, Ye's purported lawyer, Kathy Johnson, supposedly sent Kim's attorney, Laura Wasser, a cease and desist letter concerning the welfare and custody of Mr. West's minor children, Northwest, Saint, Chicago West, and Psalm West. But we spotted a bunch of red flags pointing to this being a phony correspondence, including the claim Johnson works for JB law firm in Palma, Spain. We found no record of any such firm in that town. There is one in the Canary Islands, but the website link for that firm doesn't work, nor does a phone number that was listed on it. Okay, so at least somebody was doing their due diligence. And shout out to TMZ, as much as they are a messy news, what's happening type of website, a lot of which that we also watch and follow as well to keep it 1,000. At least they're coming back and they're updating, their prior publication. So that keeps some credibility. Some people are saying TMZ is cease and desist and say, take down that old shit, right? But at least they got an update here. But even if Ye had actually retained Miss Johnson as his attorney, it would be an odd choice unless she's authorized to practice law in California, where he would have to wage the child custody battle with Kim. A source with direct knowledge tells us Kim's camp is also treating the purported letter as a stunt, and we're told Wasser hasn't received it. So when she says a stunt, are they believing that he still has anything to do with it? Like a stunt, you know what a stunt can mean, right? It doesn't have to mean that it was from some troll. It could be Kanye pulling a stunt. Who knows? I ain't going there. I ain't trying to get messy and do the overreachy thing. But I just think that it was bugged out to look at this and say, this is where y'all are at. And the public stuff that Kanye does, to a degree, incites this. Somebody to come out and say, let me do a fake cease and desist behind all this stuff that he's talking and ranting about every day. Kanye is drawing about a lot of this. Like, this is one of the reasons why people will preach to you about maintaining your fucking privacy, right? Half of what we talk about, report about, clown on. Look at the clip that we put up the other day or yesterday. Cameron, when he was being an asshole, but he was still stating facts like, hey, we didn't know that you suck. And he says it so vulgarly and bluntly, but it's Kanye's fact. Kanye put that out there, whether he was looking for attention, whether he made up the story or whether it really happened. And he thought that this was the perfect time to now relay that information to everybody. Like, that's where Kanye has put people to create fake cease and desist. Like, how many times I gotta say, Kim K ain't no damn angel. She wouldn't be my choice of wife. But what Kanye has been exhibiting creates such an environment of like, why would you want your forget the custody stuff. Even this, his kids are not little babies anymore. He got some of them in their teens at this point? I don't want to start pulling up the ages, but so he got big kids at this point. They can see you online with all of this shit daily. It's insane. Now, one thing that this provoked me to do was pull this up. I wanted to see what he's paying in child support. It just became curious after this. Kanye West pays Kim Kardashian $2.4 million per year in child support, which amounts to $200,000 per month. This is part of their divorce settlement agreement, which also includes joint custody of their focused children and sharing of cost for their education, security, and healthcare. So, in a whole different type of conversation, when you see some people get into it, they're like, $10,000 a month. What kid needs $10,000 a month? Try $200 a month. All right. So Kim's justifications there, I guess, and her lawyers or whatever, and this whole divorce settlement is probably going to be the lifestyle that they put this kid in and raise this kid within. That's how it goes. Whether it's alimony or child custody or divorce settlement stuff, these lifestyles that people get accustomed to, it's what be on the table when you guys split, right? In certain cases, people get railroaded. In other cases, maybe it's fair. You got to treat it case to case. 200, that's the only reason why this makes sense, is because it's a lifestyle that the kids are going, the type of schools that they're in, the type of environments that they need to be maintained in, what they're already accustomed to. Try not to shock them and go from living in on Star Island to the projects, and that's never gonna happen. I'm just making a crazy comparison. Can't do that. So to maintain this, 200 grand, and you're talking about two people that got it like that and spend this type of money. If probably somebody put on the table Kim K's monthly expenses, it's probably wicked. And the same for Kanye. But if you're Kanye, you're the one that's spending it. I just want to throw this out there. I don't want to put this on Kanye's jacket as much as I dislike him. But I still want to just throw it out there. A lot of men go to hell and back over their kids, not because they want their kids, but because of the amount of money that they have to spend every month. That is a fact. That is a reality. I've met people like that. And I'm not saying that that's Kanye's case, but was that Tyrese's case? I don't know. I think Tyrese loves his kids. This is not to say that none of these fathers don't love their kids. I'm just saying those be factors. I don't want to put that on Kanye, so I'm just making conversational piece. All right. But speaking of these divorces and these separations and sometimes alimony, I don't care for this as a topic at all, but I just felt like it was another example to correlate to the Diddy and the Kim stuff. Did y'all see this? Look at this. Iman Shumpert demands jail time for Tiana Taylor over divorce drama. Iman Shumpert asked a judge to jail Tiana Taylor over alleged court order violations. Now, this is reported by AllHipHop.com. I'll say allegedly, but just think about two people. Let me take it a step back and make it a conversational piece since we live and we're hanging out on a Saturday. You ever get your eyes opened up to seeing, damn, look at this relationship. They got kids together, or they're in love, or maybe you yourself were in these shoes. And you fuck around, you treat like your boss better than your wife or your husband, right? And sometimes some of y'all might have even been accused of that. You wouldn't talk to your boss like this. Why you gonna come home and talk to me like this? Now, the direction that I'm going in is the two people that come together to create a life together, become life partners together, live together, hold each other down, exchange I love yous, create life together, have children together, run a household together, make money together, all of this stuff. What has to happen to have that type of situation and then go to a point where you want to see that person that you created all of that with, did all that with, be in jail? This is the toxic levels of just being sometimes with the wrong person, or those unfortunate situations where you allow your relationship to go that far off the hinge. And it could happen to any of us, to be 1,000. It could happen to all of us. But Jesus, I don't think I could ever, the only time I could ever want to see a woman that I had a child with in jail is if she did something to the kid and I couldn't hurt her. I think like for example, like let's say I'll use the men, right? Let's say your girlfriend or your ex-wife or your fiance molested your son or your daughter, right? Some fathers might want to do something to that woman, but if her ass gets arrested, I don't see myself wishing that she gets innocent. I don't see that for me. I don't see me like, I pray that she gets off. And some people in that situation will pray that she gets off so that they can then do something, exact street justice, and then you just trade places. She comes out and then you go in. Good job, right? But other than like an extreme circumstance like that, like what would make you say, we have this child together, I want you in jail? Now, there's a lot of men sitting in jail right now behind child support. A lot of men, a ton of men. Sometimes they flood. If you've ever been in holdings before, right? Before you get moved around, if you've ever been in holdings before, there's so many. That's TV, people. Not everybody that's in jail is in jail for some shit that happened with Rodney Hinton. All right. Not everybody that you cross paths with while you're being processed and you're in holdings is going to be in there for murder or shootings or stabbings. This person is there for shoplifting. These 4 people is in a corner for not paying child support. This person's is in there for speeding, for being pulled over for speeding, doing 140 into 60. Real shit. There's a lot of, that's the daily more humble crimes that are there. You know what I'm saying? What type of stats do y'all think? Do you think that there's more people in jail for daily murders than there is for these humble type of crimes? No, there's a ton of people in there as a result from their fucking relationship. And it's not all physical or violence. It's just like, he ain't paid child support for 6 months. Fuck him. Yeah, go ahead. Put his ass in jail for and teach him a lesson. He'll come out and maybe give me my money now. You know, or it don't even have to be it could be like just a violation and an order from the court. There's a lot of people. Y'all really just had me read that Iman Shumpert is asking for Tiana Taylor allegedly to be put in jail. What y'all got going on, man? What y'all got going on? What level of toxic relationship do y'all have? Y'all be seeing some of these men and some of these women, these celebrities, and thinking they perfect, right? All right, Jennifer Lopez has been married how many times? There's something wrong. Something's wrong. Halle Berry got cheated on by, what was it, Eric Benet or whatever? Why? Right? Halle Berry I remember she used to be on the magazine covers, most beautiful woman voted of the year and everything like that. Niggas still cheat. What's happening sometimes? What's going on? Y'all be swearing that because in the public eye, these people are beautiful and rich and famous and cool, that you're not living with a demon at home. Is Jennifer Lopez on her 37th marriage? Like, allegedly. What's wrong? What the? Ask me right now, yo, ARP. Jennifer Lopez, ring your bell right now and say, hey, wants to hang out, wants to go out. I love your podcast. And then she tries to get with me fast and marry me. You with it, ARP? The answer is no. I'm cool. I do my best to try to learn from other people's mistakes. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't want to have to make the same mistake that I've seen other people make. And I don't want to sound like I'm calling Jennifer Lopez a mistake. I'm just saying, publicly, to see it that many times, I don't want to be the person that also tries what other people continue to fail at as far as making something work with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool. Like, I don't need to take that risk. I'm all right. There's a billion other women. I don't know how we created that topic just off of that, but like I said, when we live like this, especially on the weekends when this is for all subscribers in YouTube, I'll hang out with y'all a little bit more, okay? Yo, the chat says she a crazy Puerto Rican John. Thank you, Sassy. I love using that word so much on this podcast. The definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different fucking outcome. Thank you, Sassy. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to I still got Drake and UMG. We still got Druski. We still got 50 and Benzino. We still got a couple things. All right, we still got a bunch left. All right, let's go. Druski. I was highly, highly upset when I saw the Druski fight back. When he came and he showed bank transactions, phone calls, text messages, clear proof of his location being states away from where the accusations was, I was fucking disgusted. And when you put somebody in a situation like that with those type of accusations, I pray the Druskis of the world and even the nameless people of the world make an example out of people that have the nerve to walk that type of shit into court. That is disgusting behavior. To go try to sue some man, period, over false allegations. But even those type of allegations, I can stand on that because I know I would never. So I'll practice what I preach 1,000,000% there. 1,000,000%. You deserve the worst if you are willing to walk into court and say that a man did something to you that he didn't, allegedly. But let's check this update out. Another one. Punish accuser's lawyer, judge. Huge holes in story. They should have known. All right. Druski's not only fighting back against the woman accusing him of awe, he also wants her attorneys held accountable for not venting claims he says are provable or provably false. And he's going to court with receipts. The comedian and actor filed docs Friday in federal court, calling out Ashley Parham's legal team, citing several documents that clearly refute her allegation he awed her in Northern California on March 23rd, 2018, along with Diddy and Odell Beckham. However, in the docs, Druski says Parham filed a police report accusing a guy named Shane Pierce and an anonymous white man of awing her March 23rd, 2018. The report apparently makes no mention of any other alleged attackers, and Druski says the document was easily obtainable from public record. So the accusation went in as 3 people, but the police report has 2 people. Let alone the other stuff that he provided, like the bank statements and the text messages. Like, I wasn't even in that city. He also had public statements like 2018. I was broke living with my mother or something. I wasn't even like, what are you talking about? Like, this is insane. This is insane to try to do this to a man. And you want to know what pisses me off about stuff like this? I really wish that the legal process could do better with something like this. I feel that once a clear-cut piece of evidence is proven to take the allegations off the table, there should be no more process. I don't know if people still got to go all the way through these cycles. There's still people to earn money and be paid behind some of this shit, right? I just think that that's so fucked up. If somebody right now walks into a lawyer's office and says, ARP punched me in the mouth at 9:26 a.m., May 10th, 2025. And then I come here with this YouTube, I show up with this YouTube stream right here and say, I'm here with a couple hundred people hanging out and talking on my podcast in a different state, let alone. Oh, and by the way, I just ordered Grubhub. You want to see where it was delivered? You want to see my credit card transaction? You like, if I could show you that, everything should stop. Everything. There should be no more court steps. I hated that in my prior lawsuit. I had no respect for that. That we got to discovery and I proved this is bullshit. But process-wise, we still hung around to just waste money and waste time. Some fake corny, I have no respect for it. None. And that's some bullshit. This type of allegation that could ruin your career, ruin your name forever, hold up your money. Look what Jay-Z, he just upped this shit towards like 190 million because that accusation still slows me down or hurts me or makes sponsors say, hey, I believe you, but I can't have, my company logo on your shit right now. Just it's a formal thing. It's an optics thing. It's fucked up. Fucked up ain't even a word, B. Ain't even a fucking word. Sidebar. Druski's, what's that little show? What's the name of Druski's show, y'all? I'm gonna wait to the chat. I know there's a delay between me and y'all in the live chat, but I'm gonna wait for the chat. What's the name of his little show where he's like the record baby ran down on him for that? Like, yo, you trying to mock us? The something records. What's the name of his show? I'm gonna wait for the chat to catch up. What's the name of Druski's show? I hate the internet delay between me sitting here and saying it and then across the wires to y'all. Could have been records. Good looking, Jack. I appreciate you. And between rounds also jumped on DMV. I appreciate. Could have been records, yo. I'm not just saying. I don't know Druski. Never met the man. Have no personal ties to him or nothing. I swear to God, this is true feelings. That show is a diamond in the rough. I don't know why it's not on some bigger platform and just amplified and just thrown. You see how Swiss Beats and Timbaland started off verses and it was just like on YouTube or like Instagram Live. And you could see it there. Like, this is mega. This is serious. You just brought Bounty Killer and Beanie Man in front of us to do a clash. this shit y'all got going is, and then later on, Thriller and everything, and it ends up in Madison Square Garden, which is where Jim Jones wants to be. Let me not tie in those references. I'll leave that topic alone. But it goes that's the way I see Druski shit. That show and the way that he spearheads, he is incredible for that show. That is one of the funniest things out. And why somebody hasn't put $1 billion behind that shit is beyond me. Is beyond me. Like that show is it. It could have been wrecking shit. But I'll leave that alone. Damn, I must, at least for this particular point in the lawsuit, if we're saving Drake and UMG an hour and a half into the stream, that shows that even I'm waiting for something a little bit bigger. But it's part of the news cycle of us keeping up to date, right? I don't want to be the guy that's covering something and it's still significant, but then, you know, we just wait for like, I don't want to talk about none of this development stuff until we get to the guilty, not guilty. I don't want to be one of those podcasters. So, you know, I want you guys to be able to rely on me to get some of the development news as well. And yeah, that's relevant. That's relevant. Whatever. All right. You know I'm real when I can shit on my own content. And then double real to even say what I just said. Sorry, it's true. That now we're 3 in. Stop running your matrix brain off, ARP. Stop. Let's get to work. All right. So this is on behalf of both sides. Graham versus UMG. Dear Judge Vargas, pursuant to Rule 5 of Court's individual rules, the parties submit this letter in support of a jointly filed proposed protective order to govern discovery in the above captioned case, attached as Exhibit 1. I'm going to bring up Exhibit 1 in a second. Pursuant to the court's individual rules, the proposed protective order conforms as closely as possible to the court's model protective order. The parties have proposed certain limited changes to the provision regarding the use of the attorney's eyes only designation. Attached to this letter as Exhibit 2 is a black line showing the changes to the court's model protective order. The reason for this alteration is that the parties agree this case is likely to involve the production of certain categories of highly confidential or proprietary business information, specifically previously undisclosed contracts and information regarding business relationships with non-parties to this litigation, the disclosure of which would be highly likely to cause significant harm to defendant UMG Recordings Incorporated or plaintiff Aubrey Drake Graham. So third parties is one thing. Third party involvement is one thing. At one point, wasn't Drake on the heels of iHeartRadio and Spotify? That's how you consider like something third party in the overall equation, right? Non-party is one thing that they said there. What's a non-party? It should be clear. Here I am, ARP, and my podcast was just brought under UMG. And some of my metrics and money and payout, whatever, as far as how the owners are paid out, is what Drake is demanding in discovery. I'm a non-party to the case, but some of my stats and some of my personal financial business could end up being seen by Drake's legal team, or even him if it's not designated attorney's eyes only. So you got non-party threats, you got third-party threats, and then of course you got the people that's in the middle of this, UMG as well as Drake, having all types of information at hand that you do not want to get out to the public. So I know that the whole internet would clamor to see things like, hey, show us Kendrick's contract. Let's see what he made, or let's see the difference between what you did with this and what you did with that between Kendrick and Drake. And yeah, if that hit the internet, I would cover it too. But I'm being real. If I was in the midst of this situation, you just don't want that type of stuff to come out, especially if this is about you trying to prove that I defamed you by doing yada, 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 yada. Now you need certain metrics and causes of, not causes of, but motives, right? Like, money being an incentive. That's one of the initial requests that we've seen. We want to see the bonuses that the owners of UMG got and the partners and all that type of stuff. We want it. So that establishes motive. Last year, you made $5 million. This year, you made triple because of the way you promoted Kendrick. The numbers will matter for them to prove their point. But how does it help for the whole public to know what I paid Kendrick? It doesn't. It has nothing to do with helping your case, right? So it's extremely sensitive information, extremely sensitive and proprietary type of, what's behind the scenes, contracts, business deals, payouts. That's not for us. We want to see it, but it's not for us to keep. Not like I'm just being real. It's not for us to see. Now I'm curious to see if they get into any spots where some of the stuff could go public, and it creates a big problem for either side. What's an alleged example of that? So many podcasters and bloggers and battlers talked about that from a battle rap scenario with URL and Norbs. It was alleged that when they got to that settlement state, it was because certain numbers related to caffeine were about to start coming out publicly. Now, I don't know how true that is, but we saw that being reported all over the place, right? That's an example of, wait. I'm Apple. I don't want Android knowing what I got going on. I'm BMW. I don't want Mercedes to know how much I make. I'm caffeine. I don't need Twitch to know that I'm still in the red. This is a competitive market. I'm not telling none of y'all that we haven't been profitable since we got here until I close shop. Before I close shop, nobody knows nothing. Twitch got to look at me and say what's going on with them and these other streaming platforms. And then later on you find out. But I don't want this type of stuff public, right? So it makes total sense. Let's bring up this exhibit, though. Exhibit 1 that was attached to that. I like when the documents and the indictments just have the exhibits in the shit. Like, why you gotta separate it? But anyway, here's exhibit 1. Aubrey Drake Graham against UMG Recordings, protective order. Once again, addressing the judge here, Vargas. All right. Whereas all parties to the action, collectively the parties, and individually a party, request that the court issue a protective order pursuant of Federal Rule of Civil Procedure, whereas the parties through counsel agree the following terms. Whereas the parties acknowledge that the protective order does not confer blanket protection on all disclosures or responses to discovery. Yeah, so when I ask you for something, don't just try to throw this there and say, oh, no, this is protected. No. I think they're still trying to keep the ability to be selective there. But overall, we do agree that there's going to be sensitive shit on both sides that we want to protect, which makes sense. Go ahead and play nice, people, right? If you can, both sides. Whereas the parties further acknowledge that this protective order does not create entitlement to file confidential information under seal. So don't try to abuse this, what's going in, and just file everything under seal. Here's an example of that as well. Like, let's say I request discovery from somebody that's suing me. And I say, I want to see your battle rapper contract, right, that you sent to artist XYZ. And you try to deem it attorney's eyes only. And that could happen. The judge, if we have any argument between that, it goes to the judge and the judge can decide, like, yeah, that can remain attorney's eye. We both put up an argument at that point, right? But what's some of the reasons why I would say I don't want that to be attorney's eyes only? Because an attorney can't divulge what's in that contract to you. But what if I'm in such a unique situation where my interpretation of that will then allow me or give me the ability to counter it by saying that is false, that is right, that is not what happened, or what, you know what I'm saying? Now, there's a lot of stuff you got to just rely on your attorney. Read this and interpret. What's something that fall in that category or example? Here we are trying to just prove our damages, right? I'm asking for $5 million. You send all of your paychecks that you received or your sponsor payments to the attorney as attorney's eyes only, and he adds it all up. He sees the numbers, but he's not able to tell me, yeah, it's really $5 million that they made behind everybody's back and they pocketed. They're not able to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? But my attorney is able to do certain things that would still guide me in a way that it's beneficial to our defense or plaintiff side, right? So the exchanging of exact detailed information, people are going to have a problem with. And then, of course, you still got that wink, wink, right? The attorney understands from a legal practice standpoint, it's set as attorney's eyes only, but you never know. Some attorneys out there might say, like, yo, between me and you, don't ever repeat this. It's really $10 million that the niggas got paid. You know what I'm saying? Niggas talked all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some of that. But I would assume that a lawyer could even lose their license from doing that. So most lawyers probably feel like you working with me on this particular case is one and done. I might never see you again. There's no reason to risk my damn license over telling you things that are deemed attorney's eyes only. Now, if you're on retainer all year long for like 50 Cent, where he says, listen, part of the game, man, I spend X amount of dollars legally, whether I'm going through something or not every year, or your Alex Spiro with Jay-Z, these people are on tap for you, then yeah, the relationship might be a little bit closer. Hey, man, let me just let you know this. It's the world we live in, man. But all right, a couple more details here. What do we got? Any person subject to this protective order who receives from any other person subject to the protective order any discovery material, i.e. information of any kind produced or disclosed pursuant to and in the course of discovery in this action that is designated confidential pursuant to terms of this protective order hereinafter confidential discovery material shall not disclose such confidential discovery material to anyone else except as expressly permitted hereunder. So they're going through a lot to make sure that their shit just doesn't get out. Previously non-disclosed financial information, including without limitation profitability, previously non-disclosed material relating to ownership and control, previously non-disclosed business plans, product development, any information of person or intimate nature regarding any individual, any other category of information hereinafter given confidential status by the court, yada, 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 yada. Okay. They're going through that, and it totally makes sense. All right. So anybody that's clamoring for Kendrick's contract, chill out. And if Drake feels the need that this is going to help me prove my case, I need to see that damn thing, then they got to argue over it. Okay. One person says, I don't want you to see it. The other person says, I need to see it. Then they argue. You know, and we'll see. But that's the most recent development for Aubrey and Lucian. All right, let me get to my locks hat. Let me show some respect, pay some homage, and that's not to take anything from Fat Joe at all. Salute and shout out to two absolute legends from the hip hop world, man. Fat Joe, Jadakiss, they teamed up for a podcast. This is so dope to see. I'm so glad to see this. We've been watching Fat Joe do his own thing. What has it been? Revolt platform, right? His own thing for a couple years now. And I think he's gotten good at it. And he's gotten a lot of headlines at times. He's had some great content at times. Jadakiss, never would have anticipated him being a podcaster. It never seemed like that type, really. But even people that aren't fit for podcasting, you'd be surprised how much they're elevated when you simply just have somebody that you can podcast with, right? You got people that could just podcast on their own, right? And deliver content and deliver points and make points and have random thoughts. Then you got other people, it's just like, if I'm sitting here and I don't got somebody else's opinion on the table, it's different. It's very, very, like if I look at the Joe Budden podcast, I can see that there's people in there that they can do it on their own. And there's other people in there that on their own, I wouldn't be as interested in some of the topics that they talk about collectively. And that's okay. That's okay. So I think that strengthens Jadakiss. But speaking about the pros, let me jump to the only con that I saw from this first episode that they dropped. And this is just a respectful critique because I want to see this podcast grow. They deserve it. Anything that they embark on, these two guys, and the more successful they are, the more great stories and content they'll be providing for the rest of the internet. You know, I want to hear about some of these Fat Joe and Jadakiss stories that never been discussed. Like the same way we got Cameron and Mace, and you get Cameron get up there and he'll tell us about, you know, the night in DC when he got shot, even though the story changed. But I like that because we followed these guys forever. So now they get a chance to start telling us things that we didn't know about. Even I do that. Even I'll go back and tell you, I did that the other day. I spoke about an Averb story on the channel last week, right? Because people that follow battle rap, now this retired league owner, he could get up there and talk about a lot of stuff that maybe he wouldn't talk about if he was actively in the field, right? So I appreciate that. But one of the cons, the only con that I have right now is that the dynamic of those two until they continue to develop their chemistry is Fat Joe is very overpowering to Jadakiss as a duo. When there's 5 people in a room, like the Joe Budden podcast, and you got the lead mic, like let's say Joe Budden, cool. He can direct traffic, right? But I feel like when it's 2 people and one person is able to dominate the way that Fat Joe does, it strips away from the other person a little bit at times. It's like, yo, I want you to get a point in, or how do you feel? And it's not done on purpose. It's just the nature of their personalities. Fat Joe is a more outspoken and more dominating person when it comes to podcasting. And he's also been doing this shit for a couple years. So he might even be more comfortable. So that synergy between them, those 2 guys, as it continues to balance out, I think that's the only thing that I want to see get up. Everything else is dope. Everything else is dope so far. So speaking of their podcast, this is the first episode, right? Yeah, and some of the topics that they went through, they spoke about the Knicks coming back versus the Celtics the other day. That happened twice. That was incredible. They spoke about Joker being the MVP. Nah, come on, we vote in Shea. Everybody chill out. Joker is one of the best players of all time, ever. You could say he is the best player in the league. You can argue that. But this is Shea's time this year. Stop. Chill out. Even though Joker put up like, what was that 40, 42 the other night? Triple-double? But Shea came back and they won by like 50 points or some shit, right? I don't want to get into sports. I'm just saying. That topic triggered me. That line triggered me for a second. The Met Gala reaction. I almost did one of those videos last week because I was going to end up just clowning so much of that shit. But it's a big deal. It's not really my cup of tea. The Met Gala. But, you know, it was made everybody's news headlines. I left it alone. Shedeur Sanders draft slot. We spoke about that. Aaron Rodgers' biggest football robbery. This was one that a lot of people tuned into. Where is it? I know they didn't remove it. I know y'all didn't remove it. Here it is. Yeah, here. 1 year anniversary of Kendrick and Drake beef. I played that and they didn't talk about nothing, really. They was very politically correct. The majority of what they said is that in LA right now, Kendrick dominates the radio. Okay. You know, and then they talked about how they feel about like things when they go a little bit further than just rap. And Jadakiss was like, man, when things get to the White House or once it start getting political or whatever, I just want to hear the raps and the beats and the bars. And they stayed there. I thought when I saw this title that I was like, okay, to hear somebody like a Jadakiss, one of the best rappers of all time, speak about the biggest rap battle of all time, and he's been in mega rap battles himself. Oh, I can't wait to see this. And then I click play, and they gave us nothing. Listen, Jada and Joe, we're gonna let y'all slide on that one, but y'all are too much in the know, and y'all are actual legendary rappers. We want to hear you talk about this shit. All right. Don't try to save your friendship with Drake or with Kendrick or nothing. There's a way to even cover it and talk about these topics and even still be respectful. You see, sometimes I try to be so respectful and so fair that it could even take away from my content at times. Y'all got to know by now, if you've picked up on my personality or since some of y'all have met me, right? You know I could go there. And there's other times I'm just like, I'm going to chill, I'm be respectful. I know it's better content if I wig the fuck out. I know this. You know what I'm saying? But what I do 7 times out of 10 is I try to find a way to balance it. where I'm fully myself and I'm not holding myself back. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm being respectful and I'm choosing certain words and certain angles wisely, right? If you could do a combination of both, then I feel like everybody could still get a nice piece of content or get a good answer or get a good take, right? These motherfuckers didn't say shit. They ain't say shit about Kendrick versus Drake, man. I couldn't wait to hear what Jadakiss was gonna say about the biggest rap battle ever. Motherfucker said nothing, B. Anyway, since he said nothing about that topic, here's the one that we'll play together. Donald Trump said Stephen A. Smith should run for president. And y'all know I don't really do politics, but
Donald Trump said
Donald
Stephen
Trump
A. Smith should run for president. Donald Trump always says crazy shit. I don't think Stephen A. should be the president. Maybe the president of sports at ESPN, but not the president of the world.
But let me explain something to you. Donald Trump, he had a TV show, man. He
had a lot of TV shows, a
He
lot
was
of
a
buildings,
landlord.
golf courses, all of that.
Yeah,
What
but
the
to be a
hell?
president?
Correct.
I mean,
Stephen A. I would think Stephen A. wouldn't be president.
he don't. He
Yeah.
definitely said he don't want to be president. But you got to understand that all these people, they regular people, man. They just become politicians, and then through the years, they go on, they ranks up until being the president. Why can't Stephen A.
See,
Smith
That's
go
what
for
Donald
president?
Trump put in the air, that anybody could be president. That ain't right. Anybody can't just be president.
No,
You
you gotta have the people behind you, but they all regular people. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
These guys ain't
everybody's regular, unless they're
heroes. Yeah. So why somebody come from New York, made somebody getting 100 million, right? Stephen A. Smith ain't broke.
Yeah, but
Yo,
that
he
don't got
getting
nothing
bread.
to do with running the world. I don't care if he got 100 trillion. He don't know about going over there talking to the big guys over there and all that.
What I'm saying to you is when Donald Trump
worldly issues.
Donald Trump was in WrestleMania, B, is what I'm trying to tell you. Is
Donald Trump
he made
will
it so
never
it's
be
possible
another Donald
for
Trump.
anybody.
Donald Trump's like Deion Sanders. There'll never be another one.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody's never gonna do
He's a
what he
one-shot
did
deal.
ever again. The presidency is not something to take lightly. Last few years, we just been saying anybody should run for president. We got to get back to presidents running for
It's a
president.
real presidents running for presidents. Not you. You ain't bullshitting.
presidents running for presidents is ill. So that's a clip of Joe and Jada. I love it, man. I'm so proud. I'm so happy to see this, man. I got my Locks hat on purpose, man. Shout out to these two guys. If you ask for my take on that particular topic, I totally agree with Jadakiss. But Joe is right. You know, Trump is a big piece of that changing. He absolutely is. And look at it. Look who's putting up the reference, right? Now, if you submit a job application at NASA, right, and they say, jot down one reference for us to call to check on your credentials. The reference that you're going to put down is a drug dealer? No, you're going to try to put down another scientist or some shit. It's got to match. So it doesn't surprise me that a Donald Trump would reference a Stephen A. Smith. So there's two reasons why I believe, I'm about to say some shit. There's two reasons why I think a Donald Trump would reference a Stephen A. Smith. Number one is, it's true. In today's era, especially post-Trump, it doesn't look like you have to have certain qualifications to be the president, right? But the second thing is Trump sees what we see. Trump sees what we broke down about why Stephen A. Smith did that initial live talking about the big bosses at Disney and possible divides before Shannon stepped down about the Shannon Sharp situation. Because he is a media darling. He is a darling to any of his bosses. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to stay in line. You know, he doesn't want to be any of the, he doesn't want to own anything, but it's just the way that Stephen A. Smith moves is perfect for winning in corporate America spaces. He's a ladder climber to the T, to definition. I wake up and all I think about is how to make my bosses more money. He's shown those type of characteristics over the years. I still respect Stephen A. Smith. I really do. But he definitely ain't like me. You know, it's like there's a big difference between he and I. You know what I'm saying? I could be in a corporate office right now and my salary could be $1 million a year. The moment that boss tells me to SMD or some shit like that is the moment I'm going to be brought up on charges. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith, I feel like if his boss walked up to him right now by the water cooler and say, "Hey, Stephen A. Smith, SMD," he would be like, "Damn, man, I'd appreciate it if you don't talk to me like that, but I'll see you tomorrow." I feel like that's Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean no disrespect, Stephen. You know what I'm saying? If you happen to, I don't know, if a clip crosses your desk, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm being slightly sarcastic, okay? But it's true. What do we have? Shit, I might have been a little guilty of it to contradict myself, but I'm being honest. When Will Smith's name was getting mentioned for a presidential run, somehow I saw it. I saw him. This was before the Chris Rock slapping and all that shit. I saw it. I was just like, man, he's got this long running relationship with Drada before the controversy, right? Between them two. He's got this long running relationship. He looks like a model family man. He's well spoken. He's accomplished. He looks like he can suit different demographics of people. Remember, his name came up, people. Hell, Kanye's name was thrown into the mix for a second, right? How disgusted would I would leave the country for that. Like I'm leaving if Kanye. I'm leaving for that. On a smaller scale, anybody ever see the movie Terminator? You know who stars in that? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, he's the mayor, right? And here you go, people like the fucking president throwing Stephen A. Smith's name into the hat. So I'm with Jada there, man. You could. Even though the times have changed and I evolve along with times, right? I'm not still walking around with a beeper, but I'm still old school. I don't believe that the president is the know-all and the do-all. I know that they're a spearhead. I know that they're a face figure, right? They're a representation. I know that. I know they're not the full decision makers. There's people behind them that's helping them. But I kind of want my president to have been in politics, right? Like, I don't want somebody showing up for the NBA draft and their whole life they've been playing football. That's just not for me. And actually, those are still sports. So that's not even a good comparison. I don't want somebody being a music artist the whole time and then showing up to be the president like a Kanye, right? And I'm not trying to say that your whole life from like a teenager, high school, you was in the government-related political class and you specialize. I'm not saying that. But you should have some type of political based background. Maybe a social activist or something that engages the people in the community or something like that. You should be in those avenues. You should know a little bit about politics. You should know a little bit about government. You should know a little bit about left wing, right wing. You should know a little bit about law. You should know some of these things. Stephen A. Smith, his mind wakes up and goes to sleep full of sports every day. That's what he has to put to the front of his mind to be successful. Like me, when I podcast and you see me referencing movies and, oh, we spoke about this last week. And oh yeah, last year we read that paperwork and all that. That's because as a podcaster, entertainment is at the front of my mind. So if I did that ever since you guys met me, since a teenager or since my 20s, by the time I now run for president, when was I interpreting and putting all this political or government practices into my mind? I wasn't. So that would be the same for Stephen A. Smith. He's been doing sports his whole life. Like right now, me talking the way I'm talking, I'm so much smarter than Donald Trump. It's sad. Now I got to be careful because I don't want any political shit. There's Trump supporters that might see this shit get mad at me. But that's the point of I want somebody that has some type of government or political or people engaging background before they come into government. And that's not just the president, even layers of mayor, city councilmen, you sit on the board. I want these people to have some type of background because they make decisions that fucking affect me. Chat, am I missing something? No? Nah? All right. I just added my take to Joe and Jada. Shout out to Joe and Jada once again. I didn't even think that I was going to get into that topic. I was going to really just keep it about showing love to them, but I got triggered. I got triggered. I admit. Shout out to Melly, man. I haven't seen you in a couple. That's my fault, though. That's my fault. The super early and then the changing and the moving around of things. That's my fault. But shout out to Melly. All right. This one should be the shortest of all the topics. Everything else is just going to be glimpses, and then we'll get into some of the little side conversation. All right. You want to make headlines, whether it's stupid or not, we might just talk about it. Benzino and 50 Cent. Let's see this clip from Benzino. Oh, hold on. The volume. I hate when this shit does that, when the volume is lost. Let me refresh this. I don't know why Instagram does that sometimes now, where it wants you to go back into it for the damn volume.
We can get in the ring, and I'll beat your ass, Curtis. Yeah, me and you could get in the ring for that money. 3 rounds. I'll whoop you. You big and sloppy and too stiff, and I don't believe all that Golden Glove shit. All right, we gonna put that to the side. Mayweather, holler at me. Believe me. I'll be his
really, Mayweather.
How the fuck could I snitch when he was the first one that called him and said that the first one before any statement that I made anything, he said he shot me. Let's make that clear. All right. Months go by. It's time for the grand jury. Now the grand jury is going to be the jury that got picked to see that.
I don't care about your 50 Cent snitch allegations. What I care about is you're begging him to fight. Did he really just ask Floyd Mayweather to come in? People, this is a fact. I could afford to host a Benzino fight, not 50 Cent. What makes you think Floyd Mayweather, of all the people that would love to fight under a Mayweather promotion, he would give a fuck about Benzino? Now, 50 Cent would carry a big, of course, but 50 Cent would have to ask Floyd Mayweather if Floyd Mayweather boxing could put, or TMC could put something on. Not Benzino, really? Really? Check this out, people. Outside of your Mayweather call out, we just got to remember stuff like this. Do you realize we are at May 10th? In mid-July, Benzino turns 60 years old. 60. 50 Cent in July, he's a July baby as well, turns 50. Now, for some reason, based on how 50 has carried himself almost his entire career, I have no problem when I see 50 Cent troll. he's kind of built that into his expectation with us, right? When he acts like an immature kid, we expect that of 50 Cent. I hate giving people passes, but we got to give 50 a pass. It's him. Benzino to be pretty much 60 years old, to be putting up videos asking for another, it doesn't even have to be a celebrity, just somebody else, just cutting on Instagram and asking somebody to fight you at 60. If y'all see me online asking somebody, if I want to fight you, I'm not going to get online and ask you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the situation is going to unfold how it unfolds. I'm not going to get online and ask you. You know what I'm saying? If you see me online at the age 60 asking somebody for a fade, something went horribly wrong with my mental state and my life. Because I feel like even if my life runs off course, right, my mental and my personality is still there. So that's not really me, period. But if somehow at 60, you guys ever see me on Instagram or anywhere asking somebody for a fucking fade, even at 50, even at 50 Cent's age, 50, something went, even now, now that I think about it, why am I waiting for Benzino's age? If you see me next week, get on camera and say, yo, Big K, I don't like that I called you the other day and you ain't called me back. You know what? Floyd, pick up the fight. Something has gone wrong. If I am on this fucking channel or any form of social media asking somebody publicly for a fight, if for some reason at my age I want to ask somebody for a fight, it's going to be through a private channel and that's it. Really? 60 years old. And he takes every opportunity he can to show that he's still in shape, right? Like, okay, we get it. You work out, Benzino. That's actually dope. Health is wealth. But you're 60, dude. at some point you got to look in the mirror and say, what am I doing? The fuck am I doing? What's up, Jay? Jay says, Rule and Benzino talk about fighting 50 while 50 is talking about his business endeavors and living his best life. Big dog business. That is true. I seen the Ja Rule one. He said, if I run across any of these people, I'm going to show y'all while I've been working out. But understand the situation at hand, right? You called it. Big dog shit. Do I believe that 50 Cent will get active on anybody that he crosses paths with and has an issue with, or they have an issue with him? I believe so. 50 Cent, when did we ever deem 50 Cent to be some punk that ain't gonna take up for himself? That's not 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? But am I getting online asking Floyd Mayweather to set up a fight between me and not even Ja Rule? That's a $1 billion fight. 50 Cent knows he could probably make $1 billion if he fought. That's Canelo and fucking and Buddy and Crawford. If 50 Cent and Ja Rule fought, the world would stop. But I'm making all this up. I don't got no time to give you no sanctioned fight, nigga. If we cross paths or something like that's different. You get a free fight if something just the circumstances line up. You know what I'm saying? But when I see people do this type of stuff, you'd be surprised how much they need it. They need it. They need something like that. And Benzino, you calling out Floyd Mayweather. Put it together. Shut up. Sit down, man. Like, you 60 years old, B. 60 fucking years old. 50 Cent should see this and just find a way to troll you on his Instagram about it. I'll beat the shit out of you if I actually see you. Other than that, old man, you can't get me in the ring. You ain't get no fight with me. Go sit your 60-year-old ass down. Really? Ja Rule I have more respect for than Benzino. A lot more respect for Ja Rule than Benzino. As far as the things that they have done in the last 10, 15 years on the internet. And Benzino even longer than that. But, you know, Ja Rule would still, from a stature standpoint, be in a winning spot for that. Like, it benefits Ja Rule to get a sanctioned fade with 50 Cent, whereas it doesn't necessarily benefit 50 Cent. Right? And you guys are calling out Floyd Mayweather. He's the king of moving based on beneficial fights. To the point where some people would say that he nitpicked. He got a lot of people on his resume that show he ain't nitpicked that person or that person or that person. He just put his business first. Even when you see him popping up with these bullshit ass little 3-rounders or whatever overseas and picking up a bag, he's told us out of his own mouth. All these other people, these white collar people could in their lanes could pick up a bag or steal a bag. Why can't I? I'm one of the best boxers arguably ever. If I want to come in and make a quick $10 million because Jake or Jay Paul want to fight me, fuck it. Right? He puts the business and what makes sense for him first. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care about the opponent. It's about making it work for him. How do you not respect that? He's a professional boxer, not a boxer, a professional boxer. See the difference? The fuck? All right. Is this audio going to play? Or is it going to make me reset it again? Instagram is annoying on my streams lately. I saw it, y'all. It's funny. I saw it. Yeah, Instagram playing on the audio again. All right, let me go back. I don't know what this is about. I'm about to open up a customer case about this. I have no clue why it's doing this shit. Where is it? Where's the Kenyon Martin and the Nick Young?
I'm trying not to tell Nick shut the fuck up while I'm talking.
We were talking about Greg Popovich, his legacy.
Like, just fucking rude. Just nobody give a fuck about your phone. Niggas over here talking about something important.
You over here talking.
Yeah, you're about the wrong fucking thing, nigga.
And you want to talk like you on the porch.
Yeah, we talking about this man's legacy.
Like all you want.
We're talking about this man's legacy over here, and you fucking being disrespectful, nigga.
This is Gills Arena presented by
Y'all look the same age, so
right?
Like,
yeah, I can't say you want to make a joke. Ain't shit funny right now, nigga.
Keep talking about Pop.
Shit funny. Pop. Nigga.
Shit. Let me
Everything ain't nobody want to see that dumbass shit you showing, nigga.
I'll be scared to look this way.
I'm
over
here. Yeah, the dumbass nigga over here trying to conduct the motherfucking show and you over here just constantly.
Talk.
We're trying to, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
Damn, I don't have to shut up. I'm
Then why niggas talking you do?
I didn't say nothing. He said something.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't have to shut
You
up.
the one niggas can hear. Can't nobody hear him.
Shut up. Now I'm
Can't
never
nobody
gonna
hear him.
shut up. I'm never gonna shut up now.
Sorry, Pop.
You can Pop a smoke a little.
Pop, thank you for the basketball guys.
Can we get a little smoke for Pop?
Hey,
Pop with the basketball.
man, for no reason.
Nigga, we're trying to have a real conversation. Nigga,
All right,
shut
you
up.
can have it, nigga. I don't have
Trying
to shut up.
shut
Man,
up.
I didn't say nothing. Don't tell me to shut up,
You're a
nigga.
fucking child. Shut
All
up
right.
sometimes.
That's why we're
Nigga, shut up.
we are showing love to
Shut
Greg
up.
Nigga, don't
Popovich.
fucking
Shut up.
say shut
You shut
up.
up.
All right, man. At the end of the show,
We are showing love.
If you caught that
We're
bitch.
trying to show
Talking to you,
love.
nigga.
Show love to Greg
I'm
Popovich.
talking to you, directly
All
to
right,
you.
stop talking to me like that. All right.
Talking to you, nigga.
All right. And I'm
You ain't gonna talk to him.
and I'm
Talking
talking
to
to
you,
you,
nigga.
and I'm gonna keep talking.
At
nigga.
this point, get
In
the
the
strap.
Enough.
Get the strap, B.
Enough, gentlemen. Enough. Enough. Well, this has been
Follow. Hit the button.
another episode of Jules Arena presented by Underdog. We will see y'all next week.
Crazy as fuck.
Nigga, shut up sometime. All right.
And nigga, he still got that last shit in. Nigga, shut up sometime. Hey, don't do that, Melly. Don't do that. I gotta stick up for the men on now. I'm gonna get you, Melly. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Daylight. Don't do that. Don't do that. This happens a lot, to be honest. I applaud these two guys for staying in their seats. Because once you get to the whole shut the fuck up, you shut the that's when it's up. And there's other people there, so I'm pretty sure it would have got broken up. But those two guys remaining in their seat like that when they was exchanging, you just don't talk to each other like that as men unless you're ready for confrontation. Like you just can't. It don't go. It don't go. So how they stayed seated is another level of reservation that shout out to them once again. That's dope that they stayed in their damn seats. Cassie and Hitman couldn't stay there. Oh shit. But oh my bad. That's not even the comment that I wanted from Melly. What I wanted from Melly was the other one. Where is it? This one. I can't stand when grown men argue like this. LOL. So that's what I was talking about. Don't do that. This happens a lot. Sometimes it's a machismo, it's an ego, it's especially if you got a room full of multiple alphas. If you got a leader in the room or he owns the space, because sometimes multiple alphas, it's not a concession thing, but like let's say I go to my boy's crib. He's the top dog. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain things that I will do to ensure that he keeps that spot in all the decisions. I wouldn't raise my voice in my boy's crib. I wouldn't scream him up. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of ways of moving when it's you don't own the space. And people treat me the same way when they're in my crib, right? It's like, all right, this is his crib. He's the king here. You know what I'm saying? Now you put us in a neutral place, you know, you never know. Certain arguments, certain tones and levels of voice, they can change. And arguments like that, like they happen every day, whether you know them or not. Some of these motherfuckers, so there's somebody in the world right now having that same argument over a video game. I'm not justifying it, but you know, people get triggered. Like, and then you got people that's just not on the same page about what we talk about, the depth of what we're talking about. If something is important to me and you laughing, that could be a trigger. Remember that classic clip with Envy and Charlemagne with Ashley Larry? And he like talk about like somebody passing his family or something like that, and everybody in the room started laughing. He's just like, yo, y'all laughing? Like he could have got triggered, like, yo, this is important to me. What the fuck y'all laughing at? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what happened with Kmart. I think whatever the topic was, he was just it was more important to him. I don't know if it was about Pop. It could have been about Popovich, who just stepped down from Pop is such a legend and so loved. The coach of the Spurs, for people that don't know what I'm talking about. He's been having some medical issues, some health issues, and he just stepped down from being the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. And if you saw that video, even as he was moving around, he had Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan next to him on the sides of him. At times they're helping him, like they're holding his arm as he moves and everything. I'm not sure if it was a stroke or whatever it was, but he's older too, but he's had some health issues recently. And for certain people, that could be a very serious and emotional conversation. You heard Kenyon Martin say pop. Now, if Nick Young was ranting about, or for whatever, joking, he never played underneath Popovich, right? Did Kmart play for the Nets, and who else? But anyway, when one person takes a conversation, or they're saying something that's very important to them or serious, and the other person doesn't, it's a trigger. It's a fucking trigger. Those arguments happen so frequent, you know, and as mature as some of us feel that we are at times, you'd be surprised how many immature arguments that we could still end up in. You got to navigate it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to check your ego at the door. I've had people in my circle, their personalities are so abrasive that as much as we're both, if you sit us both in the same room at the same time, it's two alphas, right? Or two leaders or two decision makers. Like the person I'm talking about right now, he's so abrasive and so argumentative. Like sometimes, like I just give him certain things. Like he'll say something I disagree with. And instead of me just creating the argument, because I know we both about to lose our voice. If I fucking just say, I disagree with that, I'm going to lose my voice. We're going to sit here. We're going to argue for 2 hours. That's why I get to make them mature. It's not worth it. And I've navigated that at times to say, yeah, that's what you think. All right, cool. Whatever. You got it. Not because I'm scary, but just because I'm just like, your personality and mine don't align on how we have disagreements. You know what I'm saying? Just in conversation. But it's not always about navigating the differences of personality. Sometimes it could be purely, hey, Kmart and Nick Young, and I don't like that you laughing or you not taking serious this particular topic. And it goes up as old as they are, as old, you know what I'm saying? So it happens, DMV. But what was this? What was this other thing? Oh, let me bring this up here real quick. He didn't fall out of our news cycle. It's just, it's nothing has, I don't know. I don't want to say not important. The man is incarcerated. I want to be respectful, but Luce Cannon's legal team issues a statement claiming he's not a snitch. Our client has not cooperated with the government. So his legal team came out. Is this because of WAC 100 creating all these narratives? Press release, May 9, 2025, about Tremaine Williams, regarding Tremaine Williams, who is Luce Cannon. Our office represents Tremaine Williams. We have not discussed our client's case either publicly or with any third parties. Was publicly spelled correctly right there? Wasn't? I don't know. I was just about to say, I don't care about misspellings. I do it all the time. I was just saying a lawyer better not have no typos. But anyway, our client has not cooperated with the government. He remains detained due to the charges the government has brought, of which we are confident he will be found not guilty. Until that happens, the accusations and rumors being circulated online that he is a snitch put our client in harm's way. Our office is in the process of sending cease and desist letters to each platform that has circulated these false narratives. That gotta be for WAC. How is that for anybody else other than WAC? How is it? How is that possibly for anybody else? Jay says, it ain't gonna be that. Yeah, it ain't gonna be that though. Oh, we got some classic battle rap references and more stories to come, people, on this podcast. I promise I got y'all. I got 10 years worth of stories. But yeah, it's gotta be for WAC. The only thing I don't respect about well, it's a lot of things I don't respect about WAC's behavior, but one thing I don't respect about WAC's behavior is it's just a part of what he's been doing in the last couple of weeks. It just feels like he's just doing some of it because Luce is locked up. I don't know. It just feels like some of that energy was nowhere to be found when Luce was home, and when they got into it too. And when he called up, when Luce went up to No Jumper with Brick Baby and WAC called in trying to say, like, no, I ain't put no narratives on your name. He was de-escalating. And there's nothing wrong with de-escalating. It just seems like WAC is I don't know. Even when they was into it before then, when Luce Cannon was still cool with Big U, I didn't see this type of response from WAC when Luce was damn near called him out for fades and all this type of stuff. He's in jail now. And now WAC is just running crazy on him. Oh, it could be a cease and desist behind it. Who knows? That's definitely for him, though. All right. That's all our news today, people. That's all our news. Let me get into my movies real quick. I want to show y'all 3 of my favorite movies that have captions, i.e., they're not in English and you have to read them. I know that annoys the shit out of some people. Some people see a movie that they gotta read and they're like, "No, I'm good." Possibly top 3 for me. Definitely 3 of my top 7. Yeah, I might have jumped too fast saying my top 3. Yeah, these 3 are definitely within my top 7 movies that I've seen that are subtitled. Number 1, City of Men. Okay. City of Men, same creators, similar backdrop, same actors of City of God. All right. Great story. They go to war over territory. This is crazy. It's a little bit shorter too than the obvious one that's got to be coming in this list as well. City of God. What's this, like 3 hours plus or something like that? When you talk about a certified classic movie, see this. I don't know if people designate this as a classic, but this is a classic movie. This is a epic movie. I could say so much about City of God, man. I probably watched it at least 10 times, maybe like 8, 7, 8. But this is one of them ones. If you haven't seen City of God, people, it's incredible. And last but not least, Apocalypto, B. This I also would give the classic category. Apocalypto is incredible. Even the way that the drama is built up, and then this man's survival solely. Yeah, you got to give Mel Gibson some credit on this one. This is a certified classic, people. So if you have any other subtitled classic movies, drop them in the chat, or when the stream is over, drop them in the comments. I want to take you down memory lane real quick just to ask y'all if y'all remember. That's it, real quick. Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember bum fights? Yeah, I got them. Do y'all remember bum fights, B? Yo, what kind of concept is this that some cameramen and some documentary people were bringing crackheads and homeless guys, turning them into damn near mini stars? Like the main character, this guy, they got him to a point where they was getting him women and taking him on trips and everything. Now, of course, these people are being exploited, right? But this is the type of stuff that we got in the DVD era. And this concept alone just went super viral. And this was when reality TV, when it was real. Like, people, y'all got to remember, there was a point where the Jerry Springer fights were real. Do y'all remember? Do y'all forget that? Like, there was a time when people was really getting punched in the face on them talk shows. Times changed. Different laws got passed, TV changed, censorships, sensitivity, all types of things. You ain't going on no talk show now and punching somebody in the face for ratings. Or the fake, like, it got to be fake then. Or some reality TV type of shit. These women jumping on each other over couches and whatnot. I know there's guys that do it too. There's no disrespect, ladies, but this was raw. You know what I'm saying? Real raw shit. Shout out to the supers. Jay says, a man means business when he says, fuck you talking about. Well, we say it both ways. We also say it just in flight. Like, we also use fuck you talking about to make a point. Like, yo, Apocalypto is a classic. Fuck y'all niggas talking about. Like, and nobody even challenged me, but I just say that as emphasis. Like, but there are those times, Jay, where you're right. Like, so what you talk about there? That's the challenge. When I say it like that with that tone, and nigga said, man, you ain't on nothing. So what you talking about then? That's the challenge. Let's do it then. That's what that be. So it depends. Context always matters. Context, tone, situation can change the same line. I can say, fuck what you talk about, and it'd be a joke and we all laugh. Or I can say it and that means we got to fight. Like, remember Bernie Mac's break down a motherfucker for the Kings of Comedy? How the same word or line could be used in so many different ways. It's something that we definitely do culturally as well. Hypnotic Fund. Oh, Melly's bugging. Hypnotic Fund is hilarious. You know how many bottles of Hypnotic I got at my bar over there? Well, not. I don't want to sound crazy. Probably got like at least 4 or 5 right now. It's my favorite drink of all time. Hypnotic. My favorite drink of all time. Arrow Scene, Running is Fire. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for nobody, but you on point as far as Apocalypto, Jay. You on point. Sassy says Crouching Tiger. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You know what I should have did? I should have gave a disclaimer. Sassy just made me rethink. You got to remove all Kung Fu movies because there's a lot of classic Kung Fu movies that are all subtitled and transcribed for English, right? Yeah, I got to remove Kung Fu movies because once I get into that genre, there's a whole... Yeah, shout out to Sassy with that thought. Yeah, bum fights. Musically, this is for 3 Letter Man. Normally, I take shots at 3 Letter Man because he dares step in my throne for hip hop sometimes. But he and I are fellow West Indians, so I'm gonna give my man 3 Letter a shout out sometimes. And unfortunately, we don't talk about reggae and dancehall enough and culture enough, West Indian music enough. Baby Sham, man. What was the name of the rhythm that was on here that had the one of the hit songs? Remember those days where the rhythm had a fucking name? Like the Bruck Up rhythm and the Shake Up rhythm, and like it was these times was incredible, man. This is a double disc, I think. Yeah, this is a double CD. Always one of my favorites, man. The Energy God. Ellie, aka Energy God. What? Man. Taking me back to these days, man, when dancehall actually was just as popular as hip hop at a time, man. Right? One of the GOATs. Mount Rushmore type. Yeah, Mount Rushmore. Beanie. And if you mention Beanie, you can get your ass beat the fuck up if you don't mention one of the other GOATs. Bounty. Warlord. And of course, you have your Vibes and your Movados, and these guys are kings within their own right as well. But before there was a Vibes versus a Movado, there was a Beanie versus a Bounty. You know, did Baby Sham and Bounty get into it a little bit over their voices and the delivery? I think they did. But that was so dope about dancehall. The clashes, the stings, right? It ain't like hip hop where you felt like violence is about to happen. Like these guys was getting on stage, their beefs, most of their beefs in my era coming up. It was music. It was clashing. They'd get on stage sometimes, snatch each other's microphones. Beanie Man got his mic snatched by Bounty. Then he on stage. Like some niggas be fighting. Like they was, remember the clash with Ninja Man and Merciless and Bounty on stage? Epic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of y'all are with me. Clip Cartel is with me. Some of y'all is with me. Yeah, Ninja Man, see? What's y'all favorite movie from the West Indian dancehall scene? Is it Shatas? Is it Dancehall Queen? Is it what's one of y'all favorite one? Ninja Man was a good actor. He passed, right? Rest in peace. He was a good actor, Ninja Man. I always thought Ninja Man was raw as shit. He was always one of my favorites too. He was raw. He just had like a tough aura to him. Ninja Man was going crazy. I just seen that on YouTube. Shatas off top. Come on, man. Like, homie was painting the bodies that he caught on the wall in their blood. And then he got to that scene where he put like the 1 in front, like 100. Like, y'all thought it was like 42 this whole time. Now he put the 1 in front, like, oh, shit. Fucking insane. Yeah, man. Dancehall. All right. 2 hours and 25 minutes in. It must be a weekend. What am I about to do? I'm about to work out. work out, and then after I work out, I got to run some errands. It's going to be a light day for me. I got a lot done this week. Yesterday, I had my contractor over. I got a lot of work that's about to get done around the crib. I'm redoing the external lights that's in the yard and in the front yard. I think we're starting that project next week. What else am I getting done? I'm getting my mud room refloored. It's a color scheme thing. I'm getting some painting done. I'm getting my stairs painted. They got to be restained and painted. Upstaging some of my color scheming in the crib. There's some jobs, man, that we ran through while he was here. We ran through a bunch of stuff for like an hour, and he owes me a bunch of pricing tomorrow. When I get that text tomorrow, I know I'm going to have to prioritize. Like, all right, this one and this one and this one. Let's get these done over the next 3 weeks. This one right here, oh shit, that's what it costs. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off for a second. We also gotta sit down with him. I'm gonna go over doing my whole kitchen. I don't know if I'm gonna try to get my whole kitchen redone this year or the top of next year. But I got a bunch of big house projects lined up. That kind of leads into some of what we was talking about on members only. I was talking about the topic when Cameron was saying Kanye ain't happy or he might not be home in his crib. And I got into that subtopic of building a home and building your space in a way where it feels so convenient and luxurious to you. And the word luxury not applying to money. Just, I'll say it again here for the people that, can see this video live that aren't members. But I said, that whole we outside thing, that's for young niggas to me. Me personally, that's when I was younger. When I was younger, being outside and being in the mix was the most important thing, right? Now, fast forward in life, I'm only the places that I need to be. Supermarket, I need to go there, I'm there. If I need to run to the mall to pick some up, I'm there. If I'm hanging out with the fellas, I'm there. If it's date night, I'm there. If I'm going to a concert, I'm there. If I'm about to fly out the country, I'm there. I'm everywhere that I need to be. Other than that, I want to be home. I want to be home. There's some days when I step outside, I said this on the members only the other day. I step outside and I feel like a vampire. Like the sun is like, I ain't looked at the sun in a couple of days. I love being home. I love it, man. But you gotta create that for yourself. You could do it with a 1-bedroom. If I had a 1-bedroom crib or a 2-bedroom crib, I'd be like dude from Fight Club. Remember in the beginning, the intro, how much he was into his OCD and just spending money on these little convenient. That's how it'd be. If I lived in a little, I don't care if it's a little apartment. I'll give you a better example than Fight Club. You want to know what my apartment would look like if I just had like a 1 little bedroom, even in the projects? I know if I gave y'all 30 seconds, y'all wouldn't figure out my movie reference that I'm about to say. I'll wait. I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds. I'm telling you, in the middle of this point, I'm telling y'all what my shit, if you walked into my shit and I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in the projects, what my shit would look like. I give y'all 30 seconds. I feel old with references like this. If somebody gets it, I'm going to cash app you $20. If I see it before I say it, I'm going to cash app you $20. This was a good guess, Romeo. Lulu, that was a good guess, but that's not it. You made me think about that when you said it. That was a very good guess, Lulu. But no, that's not it. Somebody chose Belly. That's not it either. I'll give y'all one more. One more second. Nope. Nobody got it. Coming to America. Yo, son tricked out his crib, his little apartment so much he was mad at his. Remember, he was like, "I'm about to bring Shorty over here. I'm supposed to be living like a poor man." Like, what did you do? They had the jacuzzi. Like, think about it. How small your crib has to be. Think about how small. Redman is a good one too. No. You're going backwards. You're opposite from the point. You're not following the point that we're saying. What's good? The point that I'm making is that when you build your surroundings to be so enjoyable and comfortable, it's not about how big of a house you have. So Redman shit was all fucked up. No, we're making the opposite point, homie. A nigga saying, y'all laughing at the coming to America shit. Yeah. Y'all get it? The crib is so small. When you open the door, you see the jacuzzi right there. That's how fucking small the place was. But I promise you, if I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in the projects, my shit would be like coming to America. it would be the shit that the landlord would be like, what the fuck? Am I charging you enough to live here? That's how I build my shit. And I say that to make the point now, because you got some people that would miss it and think like, oh, he's talking about being rich or being luxurious. It's never about that with somebody like me. I don't talk like that. I don't carry myself like that. I'm saying a person that loves being like the Cameron shit. This is all stringing together, people, what he was just getting at Kanye for. The person that loves being home is very, very comfortable there. He set his home up and he has people around him in a way where it's enjoyable. It's not stressful. He has his conveniences. He has his luxuries. You know, your whole life could revolve around video games. If you live in a 1-bedroom apartment and you just got that one little space that's just all set up for video game playing and all that, you're happy. You know, that's what you gotta really pay attention to your dwellings, because you could be stressed out if you live in certain conditions and you won't realize that you're walking around pissed off, and you are. But it's because you go to sleep pissed off. You go to sleep stressed out. You know, you and your girl and your kids is in a 1-bedroom. And I have a homie that told me about this. He used to live in an apartment in Queens. And he said they had a 1-bedroom apartment, and they had 2 TVs in the house. One in the living room, one in the bedroom, right? And he said neither him or his girl really care to watch TV in the bedroom, like, because then you're laying in the bed like you're about to go to sleep. You know, they pretty much like to watch TV in the living room. So he says anytime he wanted to like watch the game or just hang out or watch something, you know, if she wanted to watch, she got to come sit right next to him. And believe it or not, people, in real relationships, people sometimes want their space. You know what I'm saying? I could sit down and start clicking through the channels. Long day. Let me see what games is on tonight. Damn, Steph is really still out for a week with this fucking hamstring. And then she come and sit down next to you. Hey, so this happened at work. He's like, just wanted some time to my fucking self. You know what I'm saying? And that type of stuff, people end up breaking up and they don't know why. They think like, yo, we just keep arguing because we're not compatible. What are the arguments starting for? Oh, because he sat on me next to the couch. You think it's that simple? No, it's the space you're in. It doesn't give you guys enough space to hit the reset button or get away from each other for a second, or not force yourself on each other, or allow this person to have a corner of quiet sometimes. People enjoy these things. Like, I'm not trying to be a marriage counselor, but this is real shit. So, coming to America for me. And I created all those little subtopics to align with my contractor being here yesterday. I'm very into spending money on your family, spending money on your traveling, spending money on your home, even sometimes hobbies, because hobbies take you out of the daily grind as well. You know, these are some of the things, good, healthy things to spend your money on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that fucking develops for me, man, when I get this text tomorrow. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that if I get into topics like this during Monday through Friday, it'll be members only. Like, I'm not going to clip this and upload it to the channel when so many people and subscribers are coming for the little Dirk updates and shit. ARP talks about his contract. They're like, hell no. This is members only type of shit, Monday through Friday. But I think on the weekends, I'll get an opportunity to have a little bit more fun and keep this public for everybody. So said that, y'all enjoy y'all day. I will be back today only if there's some super crazy breaking news. Low probability there. So I'll probably catch out for a public stream open to everybody again, like today, tomorrow. And then Monday, we'll be right back to the clips getting uploaded all day long, but the full stream to see Monday through Friday will have to be for members only, or you're going to have to catch it on Spotify. Link is in the description. All right. And if you want some more details about some of the changes in the podcast, we talked about it early in this video. So, you know, just rewind, replay, and DM me or tweet me if you need any answers or clarification. I got y'all. All right. Enjoy y'all Saturday.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect. That's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast.
Characters ever to bulldog his way
Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
I think still got a gun.